NESN, your New England Sports Network.
The city of Providence, Rhode Island is steeped in history and tradition, a culture and people excited by their past. Well, now that excitement is even more fever-pitched as professional hockey has returned to the Ocean State for the first time in 15 years. Mike O'Connell's Providence Bruins are now the top developmental squad of our own Boston Bees, and O'Connell's troops are non-stop in their hustle and desire to make that final step to the National Hockey League. It's fun. It's exciting. It's the Providence Bruins and the American Hockey League. And it's coming your way next, live on NESN. Live from the Providence Civic Center in Providence, Rhode Island, the New England Sports Network presents exclusive coverage of the American Hockey League. Tonight, it's the Providence Bruins against the New Haven Senators. And a very pleasant good evening, everyone. I'm Bob Kurtz, along with Bob Norton, and welcome to the new home of AHL hockey here in Providence, the Civic Center. Boy, the club has really taken off in a big way here. Providence leading the American Hockey League in attendance, but uncharacteristically for a Bruins club, they're leading in goals for and goals against.
Well, one of the ways they're going to try to stabilize this wide-open hockey is with Glenn Featherstone, picked up by the Bruins in '91 as a free agent from St. Louis, 3-year veteran of the National Hockey League, 6'4", 216 pounds. They're hoping he can stabilize things in the defensive end for this Providence Bruins team and make it to the big club in Boston.
Well, speaking of making it back to the big club in Boston, Joseph Stumpo, the leading scorer of the Providence Bruins, has been recalled by the big club. So a little more of the scoring load will fall perhaps on Tim Sweeney.
Tim Sweeney, 9 power play goals on the season for this team, 12 goals. He's 4th in the league in scoring, had 46 goals back in 1990 for Salt Lake City. He's a great hockey player, veteran U.S. Olympic team player.
Well, talking about veteran players, how about a player that we're actually very familiar with? We've seen him a number of times in the past, and I'm referring to Peter Duras.
Well, we go all the way back to his UNH days, played last year for the Maine Mariners, has played 3 games here, has 6 points, but what he gives them is a real good two-way player. Good offensive skills, outstanding defensive checker, and he's going to help them defensively as well. They need to cut down the scores against.
As I say, we were talking before the game with Coach Mike O'Connell. That's one of the things he's talking about. The goals against have got to come down.
Yeah, the goals against got to come down, and we got to keep hitting the restaurants on Atwood Avenue. We hit the first one tonight, and it's a great place to be to watch games, a great place to be to eat before the game, and we sample that already.
And it should be a pretty good hockey game for you tonight. The Providence Bruins and the New Haven Senators. We're back with the opening face-off right after this.
Come on board the Boston College bandwagon every Monday night with Eagles 92, a 30-minute look inside Boston College football. This weekend, the Eagles were back home to take on the 10th-ranked Syracuse Orangemen in a crucial Big East battle, one that has major bowl ramifications. Get the inside scoop on BC Syracuse. Join me, Tom Larson, for Eagles 92, tomorrow night at 6:30 on NESN. Your ticket to Boston College football.
Tennis players in the world swing away in the Virginia Slims of New York. Live from Madison Square Garden tomorrow night at 7 on NESN. Your ticket to the best in women's tennis.
And welcome back, everyone. Providence Civic Center here in Providence, Rhode Island. Providence Bruins against the New Haven Senators. It doesn't exactly roll off your tongue. A strong hockey history, of course, in New Haven, as they used to be the top farm club of the Los Angeles Kings. They used to be the Nighthawks. LA's top farm club moved to Phoenix a year ago, but the Nighthawks played last year as an independent. But take a look at that jersey there on Steve Weeks. Looks an awful lot like the Ottawa Senators, doesn't it?
That's what it is. You know, this is one of the proud franchises of the American Hockey League. For many, many years, the New Haven Nighthawks were a farm team of the New York Rangers, and one of the great American Hockey League teams. You'd like to see this kind of franchise stabilize itself, and they're not going to stabilize themselves unless they get good players and have a competitive team. New Haven is has been a sponsor of American Hockey League teams for a long, long time. It's like anything else. The competition for the dollar is out there, and you've got to put a good team on the ice, and they've got to be able to win their share, and this club has really been struggling.
Oh, that club has not really been struggling. They've been scoring a lot of goals. They've been giving up a lot of goals. They still like to have a little better record than they do. Providence coming in with 7 wins, 10 losses, and a tie. They've lost only 1 game Providence has at home this year. And believe it or not, that was to New Haven on the 25th of the month. But right now, this is the Northern Division standings in the American Hockey League. Springfield, always a fine team, along with Adirondack, another strong hockey club at the top of the division with 19 points. Capital District with 17. Then comes Providence with 15. And then New Haven brings up the rear. 2 wins, 10 losses, 3 ties, and just 7 points. Matt Del Giudice is the goaltender in the front of your picture there. And that's Mike O'Connell, fine coach of the Providence Bruins, back behind the bench. Right now, this big crowd at the Providence Civic Center is standing, as are the 2 teams. And now our national anthem. For AHL hockey. They like their hockey here. Providence leading the American Hockey League in attendance. There's your referee tonight. Dennis LaRue is the referee. Lyle Seitz and Mark Messier. On a night off from the Rangers, the linesman. That's a different Mark Messier.
In the nets for New Haven, Steve Weeks, a veteran NHL performer. His best season was in 1989. He had a 2.98 goals against average for Vancouver. 13-year pro. He's on loan from Ottawa. 6.50 goals against average and 1-4 on the season. And there's John Blue on the nets, the graduate University of Minnesota veteran American Hockey League goaltender. 3.41 goals against average, 4-0 on the season. You know, in 1990-91, he had a travel log of a season: Maine, Albany, Kalamazoo, Peoria, and Knoxville. Now he's in Providence.
Now he's found a home here in Providence, Rhode Island. Puck will go into the Bruins zone. Swinging back after it now, Stephane Richer, bumping it up along the board, trying to dig it free. St. Moore tried to fly in front, but that was broken up by a sliding Richer. Richer coming over in that trade from Tampa Bay. And sent Bob Beers to Tampa. Shot saved there by Blue. Huard trying to clear the puck. Finally comes back out to center. Richer shoots it down the right wing to Kimball. Kimball to Huard. Huard cuts in, fires wide as Weeks came out to cut down the angle. Richer chopping it wide. Battle back behind the goal. Plank against the pipe that time on the centering pass by Huard. And Weeks was extremely fortunate. Richer popping it back into the New Haven zone. And swinging back will be Jim Kite, the big defenseman. Moves it up on the right side now for Andrew McBain at center ice. And McBain will roll it into the Providence zone. Blue stops behind the goal. Huscroft now coming out for the Providence Bruins. Playing it back out to center all the way down the ice past Brad Miller. Miller going back. Miller will touch the puck in an icing call against Providence as we played 1 minute and 6 seconds here of the scoreless first period.
Take a look at Steve Weeks. As we said, he's a 13-year pro, so he's seen most every kind of shot you can possibly imagine. It's a little fortunate right here as everybody plays Alphonse and Gaston with that puck right behind the goal line, and finally it's picked up by Bill Huard and almost flipped it in.
And with a lot of different clubs.
Yep, sure has. As we said, most of his time has been spent with Vancouver. He had a great year back in '89. Anytime you're under 3.0 goals against average, you've had a whale of a year, and he was in 30-plus games with Vancouver.
Grigory Panaleev cutting down the right side. Panaleev a shot. Weeks a save, and the rebound was wrapped wide that time by Zoltak. Zoltak coming in. He tried to wrap it home and failed to. Back after it will go Huscroft. Huscroft back. He will win the race to the puck, and icing will be the call against New Haven. And we'll get a face-off down at the Senators' end. Pair of Russians that time. Panaleev And then Zlotak with a couple of opportunities, but still a scoreless hockey game.
Panalev just turns the defense here right in this situation. Brad Miller doesn't even make a pivot move, and Panalev walks right around him like he's a cigar store Indian, comes in on the forehand and flips that shot off on Weeks. But Miller, a very poor reaction in the left defense position to Panalev. Didn't even pivot, didn't move his feet at all, and not surprisingly was turned. Boy, it looked like a cone there.
Grigory Panalev.
Did you notice on that one-on-one, just no foot movement at all by Miller, and as a result, Panalev just rolled right around.
Face-off will go to the left of the goaltender Weeks. McKim out there along with Donatelli, and also Duras up front now for Coach O'Connell. Turning with it. White trying to get it out of there, and does, clearing it back into the Providence end. Blue keeping an eye on things, going back behind the goal. Now Daryl Olson is bumped off the puck. Centering pass was broken up by Duras. Duras and Donatelli. Joined by McKim. Here's McKim going across the line. Andrew McKim rolling it to Donatelli. Donatelli had the game-winning goal here in overtime on Friday night in a 7-6 win over Utica. Here comes McKim. McKim and Donatelli again. McKim's shot was smothered at the defense. Duras tried to work it free, failed to do so. Finally wrapped out of there by Cimarello. And back after it now will go to Sard. Sard playing it back out to center. There's a penalty coming up. As going off will be Ken Hawley. Hawley with the dump that time, and Hawley will get 2 for New Haven. And Providence will go on the power play. Referee LaRue with the call.
Not much question about the call. Hawley going the wrong way. Puck's going into the zone, and he sees that Steve Jackson's going to beat him to the puck, so he puts the hook on him and gets a holding penalty as Jackson goes down right at the blue line.
2 minutes and 20 seconds, the time of the penalty.
This is where the Providence Bruins have been superb on power play. They're number 1 in the league, 41 power play goals and 136 attempts. They've scored 30% of the time. But one thing you have to be alert for here, Bob, they've also given up 10 goals when they've been on power play. They've given up 10 short-handed goals. Of course, one of the pluses for them is that this New Haven team only has 1 short-handed goal on the season.
I thought the penalty was on Hawley. Instead, they've given it to Pankiewicz. Pankiewicz got the penalty. He goes off at the 2:20 mark. Still a Providence power play. Blue will stop at the end. Featherstone, big number 24, out 12 games with an injured back, sore back in the Providence lineup. And Featherstone feeding it up off the stick of Zlotak. Featherstone again. Stefan Richer along with Featherstone. They'll man the point. McBain is giving him some difficulty as Providence having trouble, Bob, getting out of their own end.
Too much carry and not enough passing. New Haven's doing a good job handling this with a one-man forecheck, and Providence overcarrying the puck isn't able to establish it. Watch out here.
McBain shot it to center. Here comes Sweeney. Sweeney across the line. Sweeney gets the pass, and this failed to click as he streaked down the left side. Beasy just missing him with a pass. Beasy now sitting up out in front of the goal. Here's Richer dropping it off. Richer takes the pass back again. Richer to Featherstone. Featherstone getting it off now to Zlotak. Zlotak moving it down. Beasy drops it back. Featherstone scores! Glenn Featherstone, power play goal. It comes at 3 minutes, 47 seconds, and Providence takes a 1-0 lead.
This is excellent puck movement. Now watch Rob Featherstone. Watch right here. Right here. Look at this gap in the opening space right here. Watch how Featherstone fills that opening and Vesey finds him. See, fill the open space. Finds the open space. Vesey hits him beautifully with the pass. Upstairs, far corner. No chance for the goaltender Weeks. But that was a great shot of it because you can see power play at work where Featherstone, without the puck, filled the open space, and Vesey beautifully hit him with a pass. Zlotak will get an assist on the play also.
3:47 time of the power play goal, and a 1-0 advantage now for Providence. Wynn is trying to clear the zone, but it stays in. Battle for it ensues along the boards. Hawley digs it out, centering pass, covering up is Chris Winnis. Winnis now for Providence. Hawley hacking at him as Winnis will roll it back in. Weeks letting it go back behind the goal. This could be an icing call, and is. And we'll get a face-off down at the Providence end. Tonight's broadcast comes your way from the Providence Civic Center.
new hockey season, and the Bruins are off at a furious pace. Check out NESN Sports Desk, the morning edition, as we bring you complete coverage of the black and gold in their quest for Lord Stanley's Cup. The Celtics will learn what life without Larry is like as they tip off another NBA campaign. And while the Pats remain grounded in Foxborough, the Eagles are flying high at the heights. We'll keep you up on BC's bid for a bowl. Catch it all every weekday morning from 5 to 9 right here on NESN Sports Desk, the morning edition.
Well, Don McAdam is having a tough first year there with the New Haven Senators. 2 wins, 10 losses, and a tie so far. They have not won since the 25th of October when they beat Providence right here in this building. They're the only team to beat the Bruins in the Civic Center this year. Face-off will go to the right side of John Blue. Chris Winnis on the face-off against Mark Fortier. Fortier is now sent out, and moving in now Martin St. Amour. Now St. Amour looks like he's going out. Now will stay in, so it'll be St. Amour against Chris Winnis on the draw. Won by St. Amour. Senators in possession. Knocked down out in front. And swept out of there by Kimball, off through Winnis. Winnis flying down the right side. Winnis across the line. Weeks makes the save. Winnis centering pass goes back behind the goal. Tried to move it back out in front for Darren Kimball. Big save that time by Weeks. Also with a shot. That's off the mark. And finally, St. Amour and Fortier will get it back out of there. St. Amour clearing it down the ice.
Kimball just couldn't find the puck. It was sitting there right at his feet and couldn't see it.
Here's McBain with a shot, and a glove save that time by Blue, who smothers it. Now St. Amour mixing it up out in front of the net with Huscroft. Fortier also moving in, and we'll get some pushing and shoving, but really nothing will come of it in a face-off coming in the Providence zone.
Fans, don't forget that you can be part of all this American Hockey League excitement by attending a Providence Bruins game in person. Tickets are available at all Ticket Pro outlets or by calling 1-800-828-7080. See the Boston Bruins tomorrow today by coming to see the Providence Bruins in action. And boy, I'll tell you, you can make a night of it down here in Providence. Great place to come and make a time. Here's Winnis on the outside. Takes a shot to the right of the face-off circle. Now the puck is going to be stopped by Weeks, trickled to the outside, and it's going to come back in front. Darren Kimball's going to be in front of the net as the puck is fed. Watch it right here. Trickles around right at the feet of Kimball. Just can't find it. Get a handle on that shot. Finally sort of takes a whack at it before it's cleared out of the zone.
Hawley against McKim on the draw. Donatelli knocked it loose out in front. Now Torres takes a whack at it. We'll send it back out to center ice, actually. We'll send it out to center ice and among the Providence Bruins bench as we pass the 5-minute mark. Here in the first period, Mike O'Connell and the Providence Bruins with a 1-0 lead over New Haven.
Mike wanted us to make sure we said hello to his dad, Tom, and his brother, Terry, who are watching tonight's game out in Scottsdale, Arizona. He's one of the best athletes to come out of the greater Boston area, and you see his NHL statistics, but he just was a great player as a young fellow, and later took on a small frame as a defenseman into the National Hockey League and played a long time.
Stefan Richer back behind the net. Atchingham tried a centering pass. Hawley for Atchingham back behind. Featherstone takes care of him. Bumping in there. LaBelle trying to knock it free. Finally comes back out to center. Andrew McKim, Clark Donatelli. But that will be broken up by Brad Miller on the defense. And Featherstone. Faced by Atchingham. This is Duras on the right wing. Tipped on the pass for Donatelli. Donatelli trying to cut inside Miller. Miller rides him out back behind the goal. Now Ken Hawley swings out for the New Haven Senators. Right wing pass for Blair Atchingham. Atchingham from center, stopped by Blue. And covering up now Lassard, putting it back out to center to Donatelli. Now Donatelli will pop it back into the New Haven zone as the Providence Bruins will change on the fly. This is Radek Hammer coming out. Broken up by Panaleev. Panaleev losing it in turn to St. Cyr. Blue will stop it back behind the goal. We passed the 6-minute mark of the first period. Providence Bruins 1, and the New Haven Senators no score. Here's Tim Sweeney taking a pass at center. Sweeney back for Zlotok. Zlotok trying to cut him. Nice defensive play by the big defenseman Jim Kite.
He had the right idea the first time. Shoot the puck. He had the space, shoot it, delayed, and ended up not having a play.
Hard hit there in center ice by Zlotok. Zlotok may be getting a game for hitting from behind. And now we got a big mix-up right out in front of the penalty box area. You can see Kite is there. Kite along with White. And the officials will have their hands full with this one. Rick Lassard. And while we separate the combatants, we'll take a timeout. Back with more American Hockey League action right after this.
We're here because we understand that it takes money to grow a business. We're here when you'd rather lease a fleet of trucks than own one. And we're here because your credit line is your lifeline. Loans, cash management, prudent advice. At Fleet Bank, we have a simple business strategy. Help you succeed, and we succeed. Fleet, in business to make a difference.
Take a look at the play that I think frustrated Zoltak in the beginning of the series. It was a great. Watch what happens here. Watch Sweeney right here. See, on the 2-on-1, watch what happens. He takes both defenders with him. That creates space, but Zoltak tries to diddle that puck by the defenseman, and Kite breaks it up. You could see when the two players went with Sweeney on the 2-on-1, that created the opportunity for Zoltak to shoot the puck. When he didn't, he ended up broken up, and now I think this play comes out of frustration. A little hit from behind there. That's the penalty call, and then the altercation starts after that.
The referee LaRue has sent Zlotok off the ice. Meanwhile, the penalty door is open. We'll see whether Zlotok will serve the penalty or somebody else. Sweeney is going in. Kite is also in the penalty box. As you can see, Billy Huard, the assistant captain there of the Providence Bruins, talking with referee LaRue. Still, penalties have not been posted on the board. When they are, they will come at the 6:30 mark here in the first period.
That was a nice play by Timmy Sweeney just prior to the penalty situation. Just drove through the zone and across the line and convinced the defense that he was going to go to the net. And actually, both guys went with him and created a nice drop pass opportunity, which ended up not working out.
Let's get the penalties here first. Zlotok will get 5 minutes.
A 5-minute finger checking from behind and a game misconduct. 6 minutes, 30 seconds.
This copyrighted broadcast is brought to you under paid cable TV rights granted to the New England Sports Network. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of the accounts and descriptions of this game without the express written consent of the Providence Bruins and the New England Sports Network is strictly prohibited.
Okay, penalties. Zlotok, 5 minutes for hitting from behind, a game misconduct. Sweeney gets 2 for roughing, Kite 2 for roughing. Time of the penalty, 6 minutes and 30 seconds. So a 5-minute major. Power play now for New Haven. Chance to tie the hockey game as they trail 1-0. Fortier now carrying at center. Fortier trying to move across the line. Jakes bumping him. Fortier going back in after it. Cleared up along the boards, and Jakes now comes out. Jakes along with Duras and Winnes. This is Winnes shooting down the side. Winnes trying to cut in. His shot goes wide. And back for St. Amour. Martin St. Amour coming out now of the Senators zone. Moves it off for Fortier on the right wing. Carries to center. Andrew McBain watched by Peter Duras. McBain dropping it back on the point. Hammer getting it over now. Shot saved that time by the goaltender Blue. McBain watched over there by... That was deflected off the shoulder that time of Blue as it came back to the point. St. Amour tied up with John Blue out in front, and Blue apparently shouldered that one back into the crowd. 4:11 to go in the penalty.
Shot from the outside by Radek Hammer. They played last year in Sparta in Czechoslovakia. Gets a little space from the outside, just inside the line. We're banging around in front of the net as Blue knocks the puck over the back glass. John Blue out of Minnesota. Power play effectiveness for the New Haven team, 18 of 81, 22% effectiveness. Excuse me, 18 of 91, 20% effectiveness. That's 9th in the league. The Providence club has given up 24 goals and 109 shorthands. That's also 9th in the league in shorthand. So they have the 9th ranked power play against the 9th ranked shorthand. The Providence team has 3 shorthanded goals. McKim, Glennon, who's no longer with them, and Sweeney.
Now Providence has killed off 1 minute of the 5-minute major. And back after it now goes Darren Rumble. Rumble goes back behind his own goal. We're approaching the 8-minute mark of the first period. Providence leaving New Haven by a score of 1-0. Rumble from center, wraps it in, stopped by Blue.
Well, I thought it was going to be icing. Blue hadn't touched it. It was going to be icing.
Rumble moving it across. There's a drive, saved by Blue. Hard drive that time by Blair Atchison. And Donatelli will send it down the ice. Donatelli picks it up again at center. Featherstone back inside his own line. Now Featherstone. Weeks stops behind the goal. Out come the Senators. Rumble from center. St. Amour went after it. Comes back on the point now to Hammer. Hammer dropping it off for McBain. Andrew McBain. Wrapped that by Chris Winnis. Drops it back behind the goal. St. Amour trying to work it in front, but Winnis will break that up. And Chris Winnis gets it across his own line.
That was well played by Featherstone behind the goal line, Bobby. Didn't allow that good give and go from the corner. Trying to hit McBain back the other way, and he just denied the pass.
Here comes Winnis. Here comes a chance for the Providence Bruins. Panaleyev just failed to handle the pass. Weak side of the goal. Handing it over now for Hammer. Roddick Hammer coming out. We got a penalty coming up on New Haven. And that'll be the end of the manpower advantage. That'll be a roughing call. It'll come at the 9-minute, 8-second mark. Might go on the goaltender Weeks.
I think they called it on the goalie Weeks. Vesey's in the penalty box. Well, Vesey's in the penalty box for the major penalty. Let's see what happens. Here's Weeks. Here's Panaleyev.
Bang. There it is.
Clock, right? They don't go on the clock, right? Offsetting? Offsettings don't know. Okay.
Now we'll see whether Weeks will go alone or whether Panaleyev will go with.
Well, I think that's what New Haven's asking for. Why not Panaleyev? But you know, Weeks was playing the puck. That's the reason that he was checked. But let's see what happens.
Another spirited contest here at Providence tonight. 1-0 hockey game. Power play goal. Featherstone is second of the year from Vesey and Zlotok at the 3:47 mark.
For roughing.
Well, Weeks gets a penalty for roughing.
Providence penalty.
Now Panaleyev will get one too.
Grigory Panteliev. 2 minutes charging.
That's on the goaltender.
Time of the penalty is 9 minutes, 8 seconds.
Roughing on Weeks, the goaltender charging on Panaleyev, 9:08.
I think that's pretty well called here.
So you saw the charge, you saw the rough. 10 minutes and 52 seconds remain here in the period, so still a power play. 2:22 remaining in the 5-minute major. Served by Vesey. New Haven on the power play, sees White clear it in, takes a weird hop. Jakes goes back to try and clear, and a pickup here by Andrew McKim. Here's Andrew McKim on a breakaway. Kim is in all alone, and he's robbed by Weeks. What a save by Steve Weeks, as Andrew McKim makes a bid for a shorthanded goal.
Well, I'll tell you, Andrew McKim just pulls away from Jim Kite. He's all alone in here. Stays on the forehand. Tries to get it upstairs. Weeks in excellent position out at the top of the circle. Has the glove in a great spot. Superb save by Weeks. Veteran guy. You know, he didn't play 13 years in the NHL by being Swiss cheese in the nets. Superb save there by Weeks.
And you saw the totals there from McKim. He's a goal scorer.
Well, an excellent goal scorer. McKim has been an excellent goal scorer for this Providence team, and he's also been since he played 43 goals last year for St. John's in the American Hockey League, and got 102 goals his last 2 years in junior. And he played for Verdun and Hull, so he can put the puck in the net.
Minute 45 left in the 5-minute major. We're approaching the midway point, the 10-minute mark of the first period. 1-0 in favor of Providence. Senators on the power play. They're in Rumble. Roddick Hammer now at center ice. Hammer bothered from behind by Winnis. Daryl Olson stepping into the fray along the board. Finally, the officials will stop play. We're going to face off to the left of John Blue. A minute 23 left in the 5-minute major. So far, minimal pressure put on by New Haven.
Well, they started off poorly in this power play, and once you start off poorly, sometimes as we look at Chris Winnis go off the ice, had a fine career at the University of New Hampshire. Once a team starts off poorly on power play, particularly the 5-minute major, you know, they treat 5 minutes like it's an hour. You know, like they have all sorts of time to set up. And usually, if the first minute or so of the 5-minute major is poorly organized, the whole major penalty isn't going to be worth anything because just the concentration is not focused. And that's been the case here for New Haven's power play. Just haven't had very much at all in this 5-minute advantage.
White with a shot that was sticked away by Blue as St. Moore was knocked down out in front. New Haven has lost its last 8 contests, have won just once in their last 10 games. Here's Fortier. Fortier with a minute now to go in the power play. Working it back for White, back for Fortier again. They're saying that's onside. Here's Fortier, a shot. That's off the mark. Hustling after, it's McKim. McKim has Donatelli with him. Here's McKim flying down the right side. Richey now. Richey tried to roll it back in front, but White broke that up. 40 seconds to go in the power play. Mark Fortier back behind goaltender Steve Weeks. We're 11 minutes into the first period. It's 1-0 in favor of Providence. And again, a great job of killing it off by the Providence Bruins.
Tim Sweeney, very alert right there. Just intercepted that pass and sent it back the other way.
St. Cyr. Here's Fortier now against Jakes. Jakes goes down, covering up Lessard out in front. Here's St. Moore, and again Lessard breaking it up. With 10 seconds to go in the power play. Lessard back out to center. That'll about do it as he rolls it deep. Stopped by Weeks back behind the goal. Crowd wanted a penalty call there as Rumble moves it up the right wing. Beasy is back, and Providence is back at full strength. Winnis from center ice, stopped by Weeks. Rumble back behind the goal. Here come the New Haven centers. St. Cyr on the right wing, back out to center. Cimolaro now knocking it in deep, and Blue will stop behind the goal. Here's Lessard. Beasy on the left wing. And from center ice, back into the Senators' zone. Could be an icing call. Rumble with the touch, and an icing call against Providence. And a face-off down at the end occupied by John Blue. As tonight's broadcast comes your way from the Providence Civic Center.
Sometimes even the smallest changes can make a world of difference. As a national leader in energy conservation, Narragansett Electric would like to help you make some small changes. Smart energy decisions for your home that can save you money and help protect our environment. From energy-efficient lighting to energy-crafted homes, we can help you see energy conservation in a whole new light. To find out more, call us.
Pretty good job by newcomer Rick Lessard here. They brought him in to tighten up the defensive play in their own end, and Lessard stays home pretty well. Watch him. Number 27 has it on his stick, gives it away right here, but stays right at home, plays good solid defense, good position, takes that centering pass, trying to hit the guy down underneath, and then he cleared it out of the zone. Veteran defenseman, only his second game here, Rick Lessard with the Providence team, but he's played with Calgary and San Jose in the National Hockey League, and he's here to try to stabilize things a little bit in the defensive end and try to prevent these 9-8, 8-7 kinds of games that they've been having.
See, he's on loan from the Sharks, so he is San Jose property.
San Jose property.
As Kimball back out to center. This is LaBelle now back inside his own line. Broken up by Darrell Olsen. Roddick hammer off now for Hawley. Here's Blair Atchingham cutting in, but he was knocked down by Huscroft. Chance for LaBelle, but that was broken up on the defense neatly by Darrell Olsen. Well, the Huard at center, losing it to Hawley. Blair Atchingham broken up by Olsen, who kept it in. There's Kimball. Kimball out in front of Huard. McKim goes after it, but Weeks freezing the puck and holds on, and now we've got Huard and Weeks exchanging pleasantries. Well, this is the fourth meeting between these two clubs this year, and they're obviously developing a knowledge of each other. So far, the series 2-1 for Providence.
Darren Kimball from Lucky Lake, Saskatchewan. Nice pass. Was looking for Huard all the way, and Huard gets it off the heel of the stick. Doesn't really get very much of that stick on it. Not able to convert that centering pass. Actually, because of the defensive pressure on him, I don't think he got the kind of scoring position, shooting position he would have liked to have gotten in. As a result, wasn't able to get much on the shot. He's a big guy, 6'1", 200 pounds, out of Welland, Ontario.
7:25 to go here. First period, 1-0 for Providence. Featherstone is second of the year on the power play from Veazey and Zlotok at 3:47. Zlotok has since left the hockey game, a hitting from behind game misconduct penalty at the 6:30 mark of the first period. Fourth game in 5 nights for the Providence Bruins. They won here on Wednesday, or won at New Haven rather on Wednesday. Came home to win here against Utica 7-6 on Friday night, and then played a 7-7 tie with the Utica team last night in Utica.
Now, they're an exciting team. They're very, very capable offensively and doing some things to try to tighten up defensively.
Fortier at center against Donatelli. Knocked free that time.
I see, there's an example. There's an attentive defensive play by Duras. And when you bring Duras in for 6 games, you not only get a guy that's played the NHL, but you have a fellow that can play some good, solid team defense, and that can't help but be a positive. This is your ticket to the best in professional women's tennis all this week as we present the Virginia Slims Championship of New York. Early round coverage begins live at 7 p.m. Monday through Thursday, with NESN's coverage culminating with the championship semifinals live at noon on Saturday. Don't miss the Virginia Slims of New York all this week on NESN. Yes, Peter. Be our intermission guest, second and third? Do the second and third period. I'll stab at that.
Fortier covering up out in front. New Haven has not been able to put any kind of sustained pressure on John Blue, as Donatelli turns and fires it back in, stopped by Weeks back behind the goal. Fortier bothered by Donatelli on the way out. Roddick Hammer now trying to come out of his own zone. Off now for McBain. McBain getting it back out to center. Here's Fortier on a breakaway. Mark Fortier in. He scores! Well, no sustained pressure, just a breakaway, and Fortier can bury the puck and puts it past Blue. It comes at 13:41 here in the first period, and the hockey game is tied 1-1.
Well, Mark Fortier is a veteran NHL player, has been up with Quebec. Featherstone tries to get that puck with the skate. You'll see what happens. It goes right by the skate. Fortier in alone, Blue out to the outside, top of the crease, but he just finds it upstairs inside the bar. Watch it again, just inside the crossbar, inside the post. You saw what happened at the blue line. Featherstone knew that he had pressure coming out toward the line. Fortier behind him, tried to stop the puck with his skate, missed, and it was so long Fortier.
So a brand new hockey game as we approach the 14-minute mark of the first period. Providence 1, New Haven 1. There's another chance now, cutting in. Big crash that time as Jakes just leveled the New Haven player driving into goaltender Weeks. Jake Grimes making a bid there as he took a pass, moved down the right side, and then just ridden out by Steve Jakes, who just crammed him right up against the crossbar.
Well, this is the kind of thing that Providence has been doing, giving up chances like this. This play should not happen. 2 breakaways in a row. Jakes comes over and makes a play, but it's after the shot gets off as Grimes comes in and makes a little backhand flip, goes over the crossbar. Blue essentially in a one-on-one situation until Jakes applied some weight pressure. But you see right here in microcosm some of Providence's problems. They're ahead 1-0, and they give up a breakaway goal, followed quickly by another breakaway opportunity.
Off the face-off now. Rumble keeping it in. Rumble lets it go. He fires wide. Height backhands it to the corner. Huard trying to get it out of there. Off now for Tim Sweeney. Here come the Providence Bruins. Sweeney carrying to center. Sweeney with Veazey on his left. Knocked away from Veazey. Sweeney getting it back. Finds Lazard. Lazard back over for Sweeney now. St. Cyr knocked that one away, and here come the New Haven team again as Kite goes across the line with a shot. Nice save that time by Blue. Centering pass broken up by Veazey and Jakes. Jakes out for Sweeney at center. Sweeney pass Panaleyev. Panaleyev against Rumble. Panaleyev sent back behind the goal. And the Senators now with St. Cyr. I knew I'd call him the Nighthawks before the night was over. Here's McKim moving in. McKim rolls it in front. Panaleyev had it knocked away, and a nice defensive play by Rumble. Here's McKim centering pass in front. Panaleyev scores! Grigory Panaleyev. And it's 2-1 Providence. Panaleyev from McKim at 14:55.
Grigory Panaleyev sets up to the right side of the net, but once this puck is passed by McKim across the goal mouth, there's no chance whatsoever for Weeks to make a save. You see how the New Haven defense is converged in front on Kimball. Panaleyev off to the right side. The minute that pass trickles all the way across the goal mouth, no one on Panaleyev, and Weeks is way on the other side.
So it's a 2-1 lead now for the Providence Bruins. Hawley getting it away. Hawley centering pass hit a skate. LaBelle keeping it in. Huscroft going to the corner. Huscroft takes the hit from Big Ken Holly. Aaron Kimball is pumped over there by Atchingham. And we'll get a face-off to the right of blue as tonight's broadcast comes your way from the Providence Civic Center.
Excuse me, do you know what stock options are?
I wish I did.
The information you know you should know is in the Wall Street Journal's video guide to money and markets. This exclusive 30-minute video is free. When you call for 13 weeks of the journal for just $37, that's over 20% off the newsstand price.
Call toll-free 800-336-1111 for 13 weeks of the Wall Street Journal and your free video on money and markets. That's 800-336-1111.
That's all right.
Well, 2-1 lead for Providence, as you can see, with 4:40 remaining here in the first period. Featherstone from VZ and Zlotok at 3:47. Then Fortier from Miller at 13:41, and then Panaleyev from McKim and Huscroft at 14:55. 2 for Providence, 1 for New Haven. Face off to the right of goaltender John Blue. Hawley, for the second time in the hockey game, sent out. Now Blair Atchingham will take the face off against Andrew McKim. Huscroft. Off for Billy Huard. Huard taking a bump in there, but still moves the puck ahead. Gets it back out now to Darren Kimball at center. Atchingham breaks it up. Jamie Huscroft. Weeks gets a piece of it back behind the goal. Blair Atchingham takes a whack at it. Darrell Olsen keeps it in with a shot off the mark. And LaBelle will ride it back out to center.
Olsen leads his Providence team, believe it or not, the defenseman, with shots on goal, over 70.
Atchingham centering pass hits the skate. Here comes McKim, who can fly. McKim, Huard along with Olsen. McKim goes across the line. Hammer stays right with him. Kimball gets in the open. Kimball hits the goalpost. Hit the outside of the net. Huard is tied up out in front by Miller, and I believe Miller may be getting the gate here for New Haven.
Hey, have an in-depth look into the sporting world of Boston College. Join Tom Larson every Monday night for Eagles 92. This sports magazine show will focus on everything going on up at the Heights, especially with the Hall of Fame ball-bound Eagle football program. Get caught up in all the excitement with Eagles 92 tomorrow night right here on Nesson.
Well, I thought there was a penalty on Miller, but apparently not. I don't know what the stoppage was for, but we'll get a face-off going to the right of the goaltender.
This is just terrible defensive play by Hammer. McKim comes in. Now watch Hammer. Hammer's looking. He's got to pick up somebody right now. Doesn't pick up a soul. And you can see just coming right through is Kimball with that scoring chance as Hammer just stood there in center ice and let Kimball walk right by him.
I thought right there that Miller might get a penalty for taking down Huard out in front. But no call on the play as Featherstone now will chase it back in his own end.
See, Hammer's either got to stay on the puck carrier, as you saw McKim come down that right side, stay on the puck carrier and let somebody else pick up Kimball, or if you get off the puck carrier, you pick up Kimball. But you can't stand there and let Kimball roll right by McKim. Nifty pass to set him up.
Well, McKim has been making things happen. Had a breakaway earlier in the hockey game. Made a bid for a short-handed goal, and Weeks came up big.
Yeah, he's a little guy. As we said, he had 43 goals last year for St. John's, and in his last 2 years as junior with Verdun and Hull, 110 goals total in both seasons. So he's a talented scorer, small, and that, sort of going to be the knock against him in terms of making the next step. But if he keeps putting up the numbers, he's going to be tough to deny.
St. Amour, a rink-wide pass back out to center now for Andrew McBain. McBain and Fortier. McBain had a hold up, but Fortier would have been offside. Featherstone breaking it up at the Providence line. Here's Chris Winnis down the right wing. Winnis a shot saved by Weeks. St. Amour covering up his kite. Pinching in that time was Stephane Richer. Here's Chris Winnis. Winnis turns, fires through traffic. Weeks may have gotten a piece of it. Donatelli back behind the goal. Donatelli bothered by White, tried to tie him up back behind the net. Up with it is Winnis. Winnis circling with it. Chased by Jim Kite back behind the net. Donatelli trying to get free. We passed the 17-minute mark of the first period. 2-1 in favor of Providence. Stefan Richea's shot. That was knocked away by Weeks. And now Andrew McBain will cross the line and bring it out to center. McBain on a solo rush, making it through. McBain back out in front, and he's stopped that time by the goaltender Blues. Looked like an innocent rush, McBain against the Providence Bruins, but McBain somehow got through.
Well, Featherstone and Duras have miscommunication here. I think that each one thinks the other one's going to take it. Featherstone doesn't play the body, allows the puck by McBain to come right through the legs. Duras with a little late pressure, but I think the initial play was caused by Featherstone thinking Duras was going to make the play on McBain, and then he gets caught sort of the old skates in the concrete. Pretty good year in 88-89 for McBain. A lot of veteran players on this New Haven team.
Sweeney now getting it back out to center. Grigory Panaleyev playing it back now to Rick Lessard. Off for Steve Jakes. Jakes at center. Jakes with the move of the line. Jakes bringing it into the New Haven zone. Brad Miller back behind the goal. Off for Darren Rumble. Beasy hustling to keep it in. Past the 18-minute mark here at period 1, 2-1 in favor of Providence. Here's a chance for Panaleyev. That was broken up as Darren Rumble now starts back for the Senators. Pass goes behind Sears. Panaleyev. Lessard. And Rick Lessard goes back now for Providence. Grigory Panaleyev on the left wing. Minute 30 to play here, first period. Panaleyev moving across the line. Panaleyev knocked down by Miller, gets right back up again, and then bumps with Miller, drops the pass back. Hustroff to keep it in, teeing it up, walks in, lets her go, and it goes wide, hits something and deflects back into the crowd. Oh, he had all day to shoot.
Just nobody pressed him on the outside as New Haven looked to pick up inside, but they just had no forward come out to challenge Hustroff, and he just walked in. Panaleyev, so talented, works that puck around. Miller upsets him. Panaleyev might have looked like he wanted a trip call there. Now here comes Hustroff's going to float right down the middle, and he finally gets that shot off.
Brad Miller has been in the middle of things defensively tonight for New Haven.
Now you see Featherstone on that last play, and you say, gee, boy, pretty slow foot. But, you know, when you're coming off injuries, as Featherstone is, back injuries or leg injuries, things like that, sometimes the feet don't move as quickly as the mind would like them to. And one of the hardest things to do when you're coming back off an injury is to get your feet moving as quickly as you want them to move. And that's, I think, exactly what happened to Featherstone there.
Saved by Weeks, and covering up out in front is Hammer. You saw that graphic saying the Providence Bruins lead the American Hockey League by scoring 98 goals. They also lead it by giving up 98 goals. Hustroff off for McKim. Back out to center, and Kite will have to chase it down with less than a minute now to play here in the first period. Now we have a little set to Hustroff is into it there for Providence, and the officials again moving quickly to break things up.
Well, Hustroff has had his share of penalty box time. He leads this team in penalty minutes with 55. He's twice taken over 300 minutes in penalties in the American Hockey League playing for Utica. And he had 316 and 339. 316 in 88 and 339 in 91. So not a stranger to the box.
Well, LaBelle is actually going to wind up with a penalty. Mark LaBelle will go for a high sticking. It will come at 19:02.
2 minutes for high sticking. Time of the penalty, 19 minutes, 3 seconds.
We'll make it 19:03, 57.2 actually left, so I guess we round it off to the nearest tenth.
Mark LaBelle, the opposite number of Hustroff, leads this New Haven team with 76 penalty minutes.
So power play number 2 for Providence, who scored their first goal of the hockey game when they had the man advantage back early in the first period. That was the goal by Featherstone at 3:47. Here's Darrell Olson now at center. Bothered by McBain as he dumps it in. Weeks will stop it behind the goal. Rumble roars back behind the net, finds an opening, and sends it all the way down the ice. Steve Jakes. There's Peter Duras. Duras flying into the New Haven zone. McKim bumped there by Blair Atchingham in the corner. Donatelli trying to fish it free. Here's McKim, ever dangerous. There's a chance for Donatelli, and it whistles wide. Olsen keeping it in. Off for McKim. McKim back for Olsen. Has to hurry. Olsen back to the corner as time will run out here in the first period. That is the end of the first period of play. It ends with Providence on the power play. And our score after one, the Providence Bruins 2 and the New Haven Senators 1.
Tee off with great golf courses of the world. 3 golf-filled videos for only $19.95 each. Each video features hole-by-hole descriptions, exciting golf highlights, local flavor, fascinating history, and tips from golf's greatest players.
In this program, we hope to show you what gives golf in Scotland its special challenge.
This golf course wasn't formally designed. It evolved over hundreds of years.
Pebble Beach is more than a golf course. It's a place, a state of mind.
Every time I come to Pebble Beach, I can hardly wait to get to this spot. The second shot at the 431 yards, 8th hole.
Golf in Ireland is a total experience.
An unforgettable trip to Ireland's most famous links and hidden treasures. Great golf courses of the world. 3 great videos for only $19.95 each. Perfect for the golf traveler or the devoted spectator.
Lindros gets a visit from the Bruins welcoming committee Saturday night when he makes his debut on Boston Garden ice. All Bruins eyes will be keeping close tabs on the Flyers' budding superstar in the hope of keeping him off the score sheet. Lindros, of course, has some ideas of his own. It's the Flyers and the Bruins live at 7 on NESN. Come on board the Boston College bandwagon every Monday night with Eagles 92, a 30-minute look inside Boston College football. This weekend, the Eagles were back home to take on the 10th-ranked Syracuse Orangemen in a crucial Big East battle, one that has major bowl ramifications. To get the inside scoop on BC Syracuse, join me, Tom Larson, for Eagles 92, tomorrow night at 6:30 on NESN. Your ticket to Boston College football.
And welcome back, everyone. Civic Center here in Providence, Rhode Island. Big building right downtown. And the Providence Bruins have played very well on home ice this year. 5 wins and 1 loss coming in. Another good crowd on hand. They had 9,000 here on Friday night, which was a big hockey night in Providence. 14,000 hockey fans turning out on Friday night. 9,000 here. Plus, there were games at Schneider Arena where the Providence College Friars were home. And the Brown team was also home on that night. And a total of 14,000 fans turning out on Friday night. And I mentioned that the Bruins play very, very well in this building. 5 wins, 1 loss so far this year. The only loss came back on the 25th of this month, and that was to the very same New Haven Senators, who they are playing here. Shots on goal in the first period tonight. Providence had 15. New Haven had a total of 11. It is a 2-1 lead in favor of Providence at the end of the first 20 minutes of play. Featherstone from VZ and Schlotak on the power play at 3:47. Stayed that way until the 13:41 mark of the period. Fortier on a breakaway from Miller and McBain at 13:41 to tie the hockey game at 1, and then Providence regained the lead. Grigori Panaleev from Andrew McKim and Jamie Huscroft at the 14:55 mark, so 2-1 in favor of Providence at the end of the first period of play. Right now, Bob Norton standing by downstairs, and he has with him Peter Duras. Bob?
Thanks, Bob. Peter, finding you down here in Providence with the Bruins, sort of been all around this fall and finally latched on with the team. This is going to work out pretty well for you.
Yeah, it's been good so far. The team's an exciting team, and you know, we're never out of a game, but unfortunately we can get up a few goals, and the other team is never out of it. But yeah, I sat around for a couple of months and pondered what I was going to do, if I was going to go to Europe or not, and finally decided that I'd come back and play in Providence.
What's that decision like? I mean, obviously there's money to be made in Europe, in European hockey, and for a guy like you that's been in the National Hockey League, that's a big decision. How did you happen to come about making the decision to stay in the American Hockey League with a chance to make the NHL and not go to Europe?
Well, it's kind of a two-part answer. In one way, the season was half over there. So I would have been joining a team in the middle of the season and not knowing exactly how I was going to do until I stepped on the ice. A lot of the teams there were a little apprehensive, but on the other end of it, I just felt that I really wanted to come back and play in North America again. I'm not really prepared to go to Europe. Maybe somewhere down the line I will be, but right now I think I'd rather play over here.
How things work down here? How have you fit into the club? You've got a few points right off the bat. Played 3 games. I think you have 6 points so far. That's a nice way to be welcomed.
Yeah, everybody on the team seems to be getting their fair share of points. We're a good team. The problems that we've had have been defensive, and they're all correctable, but we've had absolutely no problem putting the puck in the net, and I've been getting a chance to play with guys like McKim and Clark Donatelli, and things have clicked pretty well.
When a new player comes in a situation like this, obviously these guys, most of the guys in the American Hockey League have played on a bunch of different teams and a whole bunch of different teammates in the course of their career. How do you get received here in terms of coming in brand new, and usually someone goes when someone comes?
Well, you know, that's a good question because, you know, when you come in, you do know that somebody's leaving usually, and it hasn't been a problem at all. The guys have been great, and I think everybody understands the position that I was coming from and the position that everybody else here is from. They're from other organizations, and it doesn't matter when you come in, as long as you come in and help out and, you know, work your hardest.
Looking at this team, obviously they've had defensive problems over the course of the early start of the year. You could say they've had offensive success, but some defensive problems. What's Coach O'Connell talk to you guys about in terms of trying to cut down the goals against? Because obviously you can't go through the whole year giving up the number of goals that you're going to. Maybe you can.
Well, I think that the problems have been mental, and one of the things he's tried to address is just our preparation for you know, defensive play mentally. You know, the errors are just missed assignments, or guys are working hard but it's misdirected, and you know, and we end up a guy slides behind you and goes in and scores. So he's been trying to address that aspect, along with the physical play. If you're keeping tight to your man and getting your stick on him, getting your body in front of him, he's not going to be able to do much, and that's another thing that Mike's been really trying to address.
Good luck to you with this new club as you head into the year. A little bit of a late start, but I think by the end of the year your scoring totals will be right up there.
All right, thanks a lot, Bob.
Peter Doris has been our guest. Back to you, Robert.
Okay, thank you, Bobby. Back upstairs here, 2-1, our score in favor of Providence at the end of the first period of play. Big crew on hand from Nessa tonight. Bob Frattaroli is our director. Mike Baker, our producer. Paul Carroll is here. Julie Bretz is here. Megan Rooney and Mary Alice Leona, the whole crew from Nesson. 2-1 Providence, our score at the end of one period. We're back for a feature look at the newest member of the Boston Bruins, Joseph Stumple, right after this.
It's once again time for the 4th annual Bruins Wives Charity Carnival. Tickets are on sale now to benefit Shortstop Incorporated, an emergency shelter for homeless children. Get your tickets for either of the 2 sessions at any Ticket Pro outlet, the Garden Box office, or by calling 1-800-828-7080 or 617-931-3100. Don't miss your chance to meet and play with your favorite Boston Bruins.
Tennis players in the world swing away in the Virginia Slims of New York. Live from Madison Square Garden tomorrow night at 7 on Nesson. Your ticket to the best in women's tennis.
Here comes Thompson with a shot. That was knocked down out in front by Weimar. They score! Stewart picked up the loose puck. Takes nowhere.
He's got a superb anticipation.
Here's Barron cutting, and he scored! Mark Barron and the BC Eagles are flying high under new coach Steve Cedar-Chuck, while UNH, last year's Hockey East runners-up, hope to take it one step further. That's UNH at BC, Friday night at 7, right here on Nesson.
The puck has dropped on the new hockey season, and the Bruins are off at a furious pace. Check out Nesson Sports Desk, the morning edition, as we bring you complete coverage of the black and gold in their quest for Lord Stanley's Cup. The Celtics will learn what life without Larry is like as they tip off another NBA campaign. And while the Pats remain grounded in Foxborough, the Eagles are flying high at the height. We'll keep you up on BC's bid for a bowl. Catch it all every weekday morning from 5 to 9 right here on Nesson Sports Desk, the morning edition.
Welcome back, everyone. Providence Civic Center. Providence Bruins leading the New Haven Senators by a score of 2-1. Bruins assistant to the president, Hey Greenberg, just dropped by the broadcast booth, informed us that Brian Sutter, Tommy McVie, Mike Milbury and company are out for a leg of lamb or rack of lamb tonight up in Montreal and are watching this game, so we want to say hello to them. And it is a 2-1 lead for the Baby Bruins. And the newest guy to make the trek from the Baby Bruins up Highway 95 to the Boston Garden, he'll be in the lineup tomorrow night at the Montreal Forum, is Joseph Stumple. And Steve Burton checks in with this feature look.
I am tall, and I can pass this good, and I have a good wrist shot, and play good with puck.
His teammates say he can stick handle in a phone booth, and they should know. Joseph Stumple has made them look silly on more than one occasion. His English may not be up to par, but this 20-year-old Czechoslovakian lets his talent do most of the talking.
I like to play with puck and so shoot.
He likes to hit, too, which is a rare trait for a European player.
He's unbelievable. You know, he's young. He's unbelievable with the puck. He plays good defense. And like I say, he's not going to be down here long, because if he's down here long, other teams are watching him, and they're going to wonder why he isn't up there, and they're going to be trading for him. And he's unbelievable. He's great to have on the team.
He can go anywhere he wants. You know, I mean, he can play both ends of the ice. He's very good offense. He's very good defense. You know what he's going to do, and that really helps with defense. So, I mean, you know what he's going to do every time, and he's going to get his man.
Stumple may be the Bruins' best-kept minor league secret, but the word is getting out. He leads the AHL with 31 points and 9 power play goals. Opponents are getting the message quite clear. He can score any place, anytime.
Back after it now will go Huscroft. We're approaching the 16-minute mark here in the third period. Providence with an 8-2 lead. Here's Joseph Stumple. Stumple cutting in. Stumple scores! Second of the night, sixth of the season.
Even with all his talent, Stumple has become a victim of the numbers game. The Bruins sent him to Providence despite the fact that he shined in preseason. He's handled the demotion well, but don't expect him to be wearing the Providence sweater for long.
Do you think he thinks about Boston?
Well, I'm sure he thinks about it, but it doesn't show in his play, or maybe it does show in his play. Maybe he's thinking, well, I have to play hard every night. He's not worried about it. He's down here to learn. We've told him what we think of him. We think he's doing a great job down here. He's only 20 years old, and he's coming down here to work. And he did come down to work on a few things, on his checking and on his work ethic, and he's learned to do both.
Yeah, I want to play usually best hockey, because I don't know, I want to play good and good. It's good for me, and it's good for team.
Well, thank you, Steve. And obviously, already in Boston, he'll be on the ice at the Montreal Forum tomorrow night. Dan Curry leading from Cape Breton with 37 points. Then Joseph Stumple of Providence with 36. Sean Van Allen with 33 points. Those are the leading scorers in the American Hockey League. Tim Sweeney is also represented there. Leading scorers of the Bruins, Stumple was. He has departed. Sweeney, McKim, Olsen, and Panalev will have to fill in as he goes up to the big club. And we have a 2-1 hockey game in favor of the Providence Bruins. Over the New Haven Senators here at the end of the first period of play. Some interesting goals to show you. Bob Morton is standing to my right, pen in hand, poised with the Northboard. We'll have that and more when we continue here on NESN.
In tennis, you don't just play the opponent. You've got to play the ball. It's how you play the ball that determines whether your shot is in or out, whether the point is won or lost. Now, you can play the ball and win with this half-hour video by Tennis Magazine instruction editor Vic Braden. Free with a 1-year subscription. 12 issues of Tennis Magazine.
Call 800-228-4420 for a full year of Tennis Magazine plus the free video. Just $13.77. Call 800-228-4420 now.
What time is it? Time to reel off NBA action. A 4-star basketball show with a jamming lineup. For the history buff, a stroll down memory lane. For the inquiring mind, the up-close and personal.
I'm a bad dog.
And for you basketball aficionados, start counting the plays. Oh, yeah! All in NBA action.
Catch the action Tuesday night at 6:30 on NESN.
For the best in fresh and saltwater fishing, tune in each week to Jim Baugh's American Angler. We'll show you some of America's top fishing holes, as well as great tips on travel and cooking. So join us each week as we take you on the most beautiful angling adventures in America. That's Jim Baugh's American Angler.
Wednesdays at 5:30 on Nesson, your ticket to the great outdoors.
Here comes Thompson with a shot. That was knocked down out in front by Wyvern. They score! Stewart picked up the loose puck. Takes nowhere.
He's got a superb anticipation.
Here's Barron cutting, and he scored! Mark Barron and the BC Eagles are flying high under new coach Steve Cedar-Chuck, while UNH, last year's Hockey East runners-up, hope to take it one step further. That's UNH at BC, Friday night at 7, right here on Nesson.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Providence Civic Center. The score at the end of the first period, Providence Bruins 2, the New Haven Senators 1. The scoring opened at 3:17 of the first period. Glenn Featherstone, his second goal of the season, his first on power play from Vesey and Joltok. It was a misplay by the Ottawa defense, the New Haven defense in the zone. Now watch right here. That's the pass inside. Vesey setting up, and there's Featherstone. Now watch the defense for New Haven on the inside. The puck's going to go back inside to Vesey. Watch right here. Two men on the outside covering the point. No one over here responsible for Featherstone. The only man possible to cover Featherstone is right here, and he's going to turn his back on the play. Two men on one-point man. That leaves one-point man wide open. It's going to be Featherstone on the outside. Hits that crease right there. Hits the opening. Upstairs and away. Score for Providence as they just got themselves all messed up. It looked like Darren Rumble that didn't cover the point man. But nonetheless, Featherstone with his second goal of the season, his first on power play, and poor defensive coverage in the zone on that one by New Haven. Featherstone figures in the next goal at 13:41 by Mark Fortier. This one on the negative side. Watch here, Featherstone coming back off injuries. Now here he is, right in this position. The puck is coming to the outside. Now what he's got to do here is get himself moving a little bit, because all the pressure's coming out. And here's Fortier over here. You can't see him in the picture, but that puck is going to come indirect to Fortier, and Featherstone's going to try to kick with it, but not move his feet. Had some problems this evening getting his feet moving early. Fortier sneaks behind, and now it's away to the races. Not well played there by Featherstone. And, you know, when you're coming back off an injury and your feet aren't moving the way you'd like them to move, mentally you just got to get yourself moving a little bit more quickly. So Featherstone, his second from Vesey and Joltok. That was at 3:47. And at 13:41, Fortier scored from Brad Miller and Andrew McBain. That was Fortier's first. 5-year NHL veteran with Quebec. And Grigory Peneleyev at 14:55, his sixth from Andrew McKim and Jamie Huscroft.
So Mike O'Connell and his club have a 2-1 lead at the end of the period. 15-11 shots on goal in the first period for Providence. Now, we showed you earlier they had scored the most. Well, they have also given up the most. And that, of course, was something he was talking about before the game.
Well, they're through their worst period, actually. They've been outscored the most in the first period. Their opponents have scored 35 first-period goals for 29 Providence goals. This second period is when Providence has started to turn around. They've outscored their opponents 34-32 in the second period. Of course, the New Haven team, struggling early part of the season, has been outscored in all three periods. 18-21, 18 for them and 21 for their opponents here in the second.
Keep in mind, Providence starts the second period on the power play. LaBelle still in the penalty box. Providence with the extra man and a 2-1 lead. 50 seconds now to go in the power play. McKim dropping it back. There's a shot knocked down in front. The shot was from Featherstone. I don't think it made it through.
Now, same kind of play, though. The outside point man responsible for the far point, asleep at the switch again, and lets Featherstone sneak all the way down on that pass from the inside.
Here comes McKim. He pulls up at the line. Both Duras and Donatelli have to wait for him. And as you can see, it doesn't work. Stefan Richer. Now McKim scooting down the left side. Jim Kite will beat him to the puck. And Kite will swing it down the ice. There's 14 seconds now left in the penalty call against LaBelle. Stefan Richer, Clark Donatelli. Pass for Vesey broken up that time. And then Kite will slap it down the ice. And that'll end the power play. As LaBelle is back and New Haven is at full strength. We passed the 1-minute mark now here at period 2. 2-1 in favor of Providence. The Senators now with Fortier across the line. Fortier a drive right over the top of the goal. White will keep it in. Hustroff back behind the net. Here's Fortier. Fortier trying to move it in front. It was broken up there by Olsen, and finally coming out is Chris Winnis. Winnis along with Sweeney. Tim Sweeney taking the pass. Sweeney cutting down the left side. Sweeney forced wide by White. Rolls it to the corner. Hustroff goes in. Jim Vesey. Broken up finally by White. Scott White trying to get it out of there. Mark Fortier. Chased by Vesey. Off for Darren Rumble. Rumble shooting it down the right side. McBain tried to roll it back out in front. Winnis got a piece of it. Dana Moore tried to find McBain in front of the goal, and Sweeney now back the other way. Off for Chris Winnis. Darren Rumble at center. Errol Olsen takes the handoff back behind the goal. Sweeney popping it out to center. Jim Kite goes back to his own line. Here's St. Cyr. St. Cyr breaking across the line. Gerry St. Cyr a shot. And a nice save by John Blue. Chris Winnis back behind the net. St. Cyr moving right in, and Blue had to be handy on the spot right there. Rhymes had it knocked away. Providence now coming out with Winnis. Former UNH star plays it to center. Kite breaks it up, and back after it goes Darrell Olsen. We're approaching the 3-minute mark here in the second period. Providence with a 2-1 lead over New Haven. This should be an icing call. Kite goes back behind the goal, and icing against the Providence Bruins. And the face-off will go back down by John Blue.
We'll take a look on the bench at Darrell Olsen. Played at Salt Lake City last year. He leads this Providence Bruins team in shots with 70 shots on goal. Also, he leads the defensive with 19. Played his college hockey at Northern Michigan. He has assists in 6 consecutive games. Outstanding offensive performer. You know, when your defenseman leads your team in shots on goal, you know that he's generating a lot of offense from the power play. Darrell Olsen, Northern Michigan. He also has 4 power play goals, which just confirms what we just said.
Adelayev trying to get it out. Now here's Steve Jakes working it back out to center. Jakes scoots it down the right side for McKim. McKim cuts in against Hawley, who rides him out. Scott White goes back. Blair Atchingham can't get there first, as Jakes kept it in. Hawley bumped by McKim. Scott White will come out, headman it out to center to Blair Atchingham. Atchingham moving it over for Brad Miller. Miller flying into the Providence zone. Miller goes in deep. Miller back behind the goal in front. A hot shot. And a nice save by Blue. The shot was taken by LaBelle, and Blue had to be quick. Back the other way. Here comes Grigory Panaleyev. Panaleyev forced wide by Kite. Drops it back in front. And back now comes McBain. Andrew McBain staying with him is Featherstone. McBain gets loose. Another big save. McBain got loose, and Blue had to make the save. Here's Panaleyev. Bothered from behind that time by Rowland. There's a collision involving Stefan Richer. Fortier moving it across the line. Here's McBain against Featherstone. Knocked away from Rumble. And Fortier reloads at center. We passed the 4-minute mark of the second period. Providence 2, and the New Haven Senators 1. Jim Kite bumped there by Darren Kimball. Here's Chris Winnis. Chased by Gerry St. Cyr, who missed the check. St. Cyr missed it and crashed up against the board. Must have been a light in his crowd at the Civic Center. Here's Donatelli trying to pull away. Donatelli with a shot. And a nice save by Weeks, who cut down the angle. Richer fished for it, couldn't keep it in. Featherstone back at his own blue line as we reach the 5-minute mark here in the second period. There's been just one stoppage so far. Darren Rumble. Rumble from center, clearing it in. Darrell Olsen back after it, didn't get it out though. And a nice save by Blue, off the drive by Cimolaro. Cimolaro turned and fired, and Blue made the save. Hustroff. Off for Peter Duras. Out now comes Tim Sweeney. There's Vesey cutting in. Hammer Panalev trying to keep it in for Providence. Finally will wind up in the Providence bench, and we'll take a timeout as tonight's broadcast comes your way from the Providence Civic Center.
Sometimes even the smallest changes can make a world of difference. As a national leader in energy conservation, Massachusetts Electric would like to help you make some small changes. Smart energy decisions for your home or business that can save you money and help protect our environment. From energy-efficient motors to energy-efficient lighting, we can help you see energy conservation in a whole new light. To find out more, call us.
Jakes misses a check right here off Miller. That's the second time in the period that Providence has tried to check a New Haven forward at the blue line and missed. Huscroft missed earlier. Miller then carries the puck behind the goal line, tries to shuffle it in front. Looks like the puck deflects off the skate of number 14, Darren Kimball, before goaltender Blue finally kicks it off to the side. But second time in a period, when you take the puck carrier on at the line, when the puck carrier is coming down the ice, particularly along the boards, and you go to make the check, you got to make the check. You can't miss. One thing to miss an open ice, you can't miss them up against the boards. That time Weeks should definitely have had Miller had the body. If the puck goes by, that's fine, but your body can't go by, and Miller went right by him.
Gerry St.
There's a whiff, a little bit of a dipsy-do move by Chris Winnis to avoid that St. Cyr attempt.
I got him, and all of a sudden there's the boards closing in. Huard going back behind the goal. How are the Bruins playing defensively overall?
Well, Ottawa's not very good offensively. And I don't think that they're playing very well defensively because they're not taking the body real well in their own end or in center ice.
Jakes up along the board. Beasy with a shot goes wide. That's chopped by Lazard, armed away by the goaltender Weeks. Now Beasy with still some pressure on. Beasy finally knocked down by Miller. Billy Huard. Huard with a shot. Right now, New Haven having everything it can do to get the puck out of its own end. Of course, the Ottawa Senators are their big club, and Ottawa has a lot of offensive problems. So you would suspect that the top farm club would also have people that have problems generating offense. Working it back out in front. Huard still draped on there by Miller. Finally, Hawley wrapping it off the boards. Jakes trying to keep it in, does from the right point. Off now for Chris Winnis. Winnis goes in deep. Vesey back behind the goal, bothered there by Hawley. Vesey again, hands it off to Hammer, but Jakes will keep it in on the right point. All kinds of pressure. Finally, Hawley goes down. We're going to get a tripping call against Winnis as tonight's broadcast comes your way from the Providence Civic Center.
The city of Providence is steeped in tradition and history, and another chapter has just been added with the return of professional hockey in the Providence Bruins. Don't miss your chance to see the Boston Bruins of tomorrow today by attending a game at the luxurious Providence Civic Center. You can be a part of the excitement that's brewing in Providence by ordering your tickets today at all Ticket Pro outlets or by calling 1-800-828-7080. Don't miss out on all the action and fun of the AHL and the Providence Bruins.
Here's a penalty that comes out of fatigue. Winnis had been on the ice a long time. That extra trip right there was the second one. He was all right the first time, but that's just fatigue. On the ice, they had a long shift. He went down, and then I think out of fatigue put the trip up. You know, he asked how they're playing defensively. I think that they're playing a little bit better defensively. I think that, you know, it's a team defensive concept. When you're playing bad defensively, it's not just your defenseman, it's everybody. I think Doris helps. Lazard has helped tonight. He seems to be a stay-at-home guy who plays defense in his own end. But for the team to improve defensively, everybody's got to play better defensively.
Offside on the power play as Scott White brings it in.
Now, that's inexcusable. It's inexcusable to have the puck carried through center ice and to go offside on a power play. You either make a pass or read the dump, one of the two. You don't overcarry the puck through center ice with your wings flying ahead of you and then put everybody offside. I mean, that's why you just don't have a good power play.
That's why you've lost 8 in a row of 1-1 in their last 10.
Either make the dump or make the carry, one of the two.
Blue leads behind the goal. Featherstone now with 12.5 minutes to go here in the second period on goal.
Shot on goal.
Scott White setting up shop back behind Manette. 1:29 to go in the tripping call against Chris Winnis. Here come the Senators. That's offside. One deep too many by 48. So 2 offsides on their power play.
Fans, for a great time benefiting a great cause, get your tickets now for the 4th annual Bruins Wives Charity Carnival. It comes Sunday, January 10th at the Boston Garden. 2 sessions are planned, but tickets are limited, so you'll want to make your reservations now. You can do so just like that at the Garden box office ticket drawer by calling 1-800-828-7080 or 617-931-3100. Don't miss out on your chance to meet and play with the Boston Bruins at the 4th annual Bruins Wives Charity Carnival. Proceeds from the past carnival have surpassed $500,000. And for the first time, a special handicap admission is available by calling 617-227-3206, extension 123.
New Haven power play, 2-1 lead for Providence as we reach the 8-minute mark here in the period. Here's a break now for Sweeney. Sweeney flies down the right wing, fires, squeaks the save, and then stopped the rebound as it started to dribble away. Twice tonight. First McKim back in the first period, that time Sweeney. Providence has made bid for the shorthanded goal. Here's Fortier. 45 seconds to go in the power play. Fortier watched by Darrell Olson. Olson is out there along with Duras, Sweeney, and Huscroft. Huscroft broke it up at the side of the net. Now McBain doing some shoving with Huscroft. Scott White getting it back. Rumble rang one off the crossbar. Rumble hit the crossbar. Here's Rumble again. Lets her go. He scores! Darren Rumble from the point. Power play goal has tied the hockey game at 8:48 here in the second period.
Sometimes, watch right here. Watch Duras. Duras gets a little aggressive over here on the sideboards and isn't able to react back here where Rumble's going to get the shot. Duras is a man responsible for the point. He's got to play both of those guys at the same time. The more dangerous one is the one with the puck now. Shooting from the outside, I think screened in front as well as Blue. As you can see, there's a crowd in front of him, particularly Jamie Huscroft, who was playing defense in front of the net. I think obscured his look at the shot. But when they have those 2 guys out at the front, like out of the outside like that, one on the blue line and the other one on the sideboards, you have to be more conscious. You got to play the one on the sideboards to prevent him coming to the middle, and you got to prevent the guy from the outside if you can from getting a shot.
So we start again in a 2-2 hockey game as we reach the 9-minute mark here at period number 2. Providence and New Haven tonight here at the Civic Center. A collision at center ice. I think it was Winnis and Kite.
His first goal of the season. Assisted by number 29,
Johnny Blue.
Now this is Rumble's first goal of the season. Obviously, first power play goal. Blue doesn't see that at all. That's the first look he's had of it when he turned around.
Didn't see the one before that either that rang off the crossbar behind him. He heard it, but he didn't see it.
And that was a flipper, too, that one.
Here's Jim Kite back behind the goal. Kite coming out for the black and red. Now we got a fight at center ice. Huard is all set to square off here. Huard against St. Cyr. Gerry St. Cyr and Bill Huard. And Huard appears to be the bigger of the 2 players and also seems to be getting by far the best of this one, although St. Cyr popped up on one knee and got a couple rights in. St. Cyr and Huard. So they'll get 5 apiece for fighting here at the 9:15 mark of the second period.
Fans, find out everything you wanted to know about this year's Boston Bruins by picking up a copy of the official team guide and record book. It only costs $6 at the Bruins Pro Shop. It can be received by sending a check to the Bruins Pro Shop, 150 Causeway Street, Boston, 02114. If ordering by mail, please include $1.50 for shipping and handling. I'm glad we didn't do the Bruins Wives promo after that altercation. That wouldn't have been an appropriate segue.
I'd imagine it's 5 apiece for fighting at 9:15. We'll get the official announcement from the PA.
Well, that was a pretty good battle there at center ice. Looked for a moment as if they weren't going to get into it.
Bill Huard. 5 minutes each for fighting. Time of the penalties, 9 minutes, 15 seconds.
And we'll get a face-off now coming up to the right of the goaltender, Weeks. I think that's the fights that people in hockey really don't mind.
Well, I think St. Cyr minded it. He was outmanned physically there a little bit.
Pop back up with a couple of rights at the end.
Well, he did. You know, that's always a way he'd like to have the fight end with you on top if you're the little guy.
There's St. White battling for it back behind the goal. Kimball was knocked down. Kimball is bumped by Hawley. Miller forgot the puck. Having all sorts of problems there with Panaleev. Huard will keep it in. Puck will wind up in the crowd and we'll get a face-off. 10:20 remains here, second period. Providence Bruins will be home again on Friday night against Springfield. 7:05 face-off here at the Civic Center. Rick Lassard, newest member of the Providence Bruins defensively, and he has helped settle things down, as Bob mentioned. Next actions for Providence will be coming up in New Haven. That'll be on Wednesday night. And then back here Friday against Springfield. Want to make your plans to come out. New Haven will be here on Wednesday. Springfield will be here on Friday the 20th. Fredericton comes here on Wednesday the 25th. That's the night before Thanksgiving for a 7:05 face-off. And then 1 o'clock after Thanksgiving on the Friday, Springfield is back in for a 1 o'clock face-off.
It's just a great place to watch a game, too. What a perfect facility to watch a hockey game. And, man, a great town, Providence.
So far, the Bruins are averaging better than 8,000 fans per game, and they lead the American Hockey League in attendance. After 6 games here, they've averaged 8,141, and that's almost 3,000 better than their nearest competitors, Hershey.
Well, Bob, you know, this was a great American Hockey League franchise for many, many years. You know, it was one of the rocks of the American Hockey League when the Providence Reds played at the old Red Arena. And I can remember when we first started coming down here before Providence College built Schneider Arena. We used to play the games at Red Arena.
Featherstone overskated the puck as he took one of those weird caroms in the corner. We've reached the midpoint of the hockey game, the 10-minute mark of the second period. I was mentioning last Friday night, 14,000 fans in Providence. Schneider Arena had 3,000 for the UNH Providence game. Brown was home that night with a couple of thousand, and 9,000 fans here at the Civic Center. Here's Duras with a shot. He scores! Weeks stopped it, but the momentum of the puck dropped into the crease, and then the momentum carried it across the red line and into the goal. A goal for Peter Duras and a 3-2 lead for Providence.
Well, watch right here. Watch what happens with McKim. Watch the defense. Sags all the way through. Everybody sags. No one steps up and plays Duras. No one picks up Duras. Duras just flips that shot off, goes through the pads. But McKim forces the entire defense back, creates a gap. Duras comes down, picks up the loose puck, and Weeks had it trickle through the pads. He just never saw it. I think he thought he had it and deflected it, and all the time the puck was just slipping right through the pads. That's Peter Duras' seventh point in 4 games.
Well, I didn't see what happened, but away from the play, we've had a minor altercation here at center. I'm not sure involving who. But I think that man, referee Dennis LaRue, saw it, and he's going to assess some penalties.
What a shame.
Clark Donatelli is over there representing the Providence Bruins interest.
Goal scored.
Here's the announcement on the goal.
Peter Doris. Assisted by number 11, Andrew McKim. Time of the goal, 10 minutes, 17 seconds.
So 4th of the year for
That is
Duras at
goal
10-17. And a 3-2 lead now for the Providence Bruins.
It's almost as if McKim's speed paralyzed people as he carried it into the zone. You know, just unusual that he would have, that there would be 3 defenders there and that no one would pick up the puck carrier. And the entire defense sort of sagged into the zone, and Duras ended up picking up the puck in the little hole in the defense and fired on net. Watch it. This is right from the start. I thought maybe Featherstone might get an assist on that as well. Here he comes. It's all the way up. Here he sag, lose, miss him. Now let everybody pick up the puck behind the play. And, boy, that's just sleepy play by the New Haven team. Weak effort to take the puck away from McKim. Defense backs in. Sag, and then Weeks doesn't exactly do it, make an inspired effort on the shot.
Featherstone and McBain were the combatants. They get 2 minutes apiece, I would guess, for roughing or unsportsmanlike conduct. Whatever, but they're off 2 minutes apiece. And so we'll have 4 skaters aside.
I think Featherstone should have an assist on that goal, too. He was the one that touched the puck and gave it off to McKim.
Daryl Olson coming out. Lots of ice to work with. Out at center now. Here's Grigory Panaleyev. Panaleyev working against Hammer. Rink wide. Here's Olson. Olson in. Olson is stuffed. Penalty coming up and going off now will be Tony Similaro. Similaro will get a tripping call at 10:38, and Providence gets the man advantage. We'll be back with the power play right after this.
Eric Lindros gets a visit from the Bruins welcoming committee Saturday night when he makes his debut on Boston Garden ice. All Bruins eyes will be keeping close tabs on the Flyers' budding superstar in the hope of keeping him off the score sheet. Lindros, of course, has some ideas of his own. It's the Flyers and the Bruins live at 7 on NESN.
The penalty was not on Similaro. The penalty was on Miller away from the play. Bob, as you alertly pointed out, Miller was holding the stick. Watch it right in front of the net. I think you see Miller holding the stick in front of the net. Watch him right there. Right here. That's where the penalty is. Whoop, we did a little slip off the old circle.
Third power play of the night for Providence. So the penalty was not the trip. It was the hold away.
Holding the stick.
Here's Panaleyev dropping it back for Olson. Walking in. Fires, and a save by Weeks. Puck loose again. Panaleyev holds. Back now. Olson cutting in. Grimes was bothering him. Panaleyev. For Olson. Olson moving. Still control. Bothered from behind by Rumble. Here's Olson teeing it up. Lets her go. And it's going to go way up into the air. Almost into the restaurant back behind Weeks. That's about 17, 18 rows back.
4-on-3 advantage. There's only a one-man advantage, but there's a lot of ice. And sometimes when you have a lot of ice, there's a tendency to overcarry and not try to move the puck around as quickly as you would with a 5-on-4 advantage. That time Olson might have been guilty of that a little bit as he overcarried the puck in the high slot area. When he finally did get a shot off, it was deflected.
Well, each club with a power play goal. Right now a 3-2 lead for Providence. Working the gum back behind the bench, Coach O'Connell. His club right now enjoying the power play opportunity for the third time in the hockey game, and will for the next minute and 29 seconds. He's got Peter Duras out there, along with Andrew McKim and Jim Vesey up front. Daryl Olson. Yeah, I was saying he had one player too many because Steve Jakes is now leaving. This is a 4-on-3 power play. Rumble is out there along with Grimes and Kite to try and kill it off in front of goaltender Weeks. How's the power play changed 4-on-3 as opposed to 5-on-4, Bob?
Well, there's more space. Obviously, you don't have the two men in the corner and the one man in the middle, or you don't have the type of situations out in front. You usually have two men on the power play on the outside. You try to get one guy in front of the net for tips and one fellow in the corner. It's the same kind of philosophy, though. You're trying to create 2-on-1 opportunities where you isolate a defender.
And they'll have to start that from 180 feet away. Daryl Olson back behind the goal, finding Peter Duras, who has scored his 4th goal of the season here tonight. Here's McKim flying down the right side, forced back behind the net. Peter Duras off for Daryl Olson. Olson slapping it wide to McKim, who plays to Karen, back for Olson. Duras bothered by Rumble, off for Vesey. Vesey behind Duras. Unable to keep it in, Olson. 50 seconds to go in the power play. Duras bringing it back across the line. Providence will have to regroup. Featherstone and McBain are back in 15 seconds. Here comes McKim down the right side. McKim going in deep, rolling in front. Weeks knocks it away from Duras. Olson keeping it in. Featherstone and company back in 5 seconds. It'll be a 5-on-4 power play now for the next 20 seconds. Featherstone and McBain getting back into action, and play whistled down with 18 seconds to go in the penalty time against Miller.
Fans, don't forget, NESN's got your first look at all the night's highlights every weekday morning from 5 to 9 with Sports Desk, the morning edition. In 15 minutes, Amy Stone's going to catch you up on all the scores, all the highlights, and late-breaking news. If you love sports, you'll love Sports Desk, Monday through Friday, right here on NESN.
Well, Featherstone has been given an assist on that goal by Duras. Duras now for McKim and Featherstone at 10-17. And that's the difference in the hockey game. 3-2 Providence with 7:40 left here in period number 2.
2-point night right at this point for Glenn Featherstone.
Missed 12 games with a bad back.
Take some time. Take some time, and it's actually, whenever, as we've said, whenever you come back off an injury, the hardest thing to get into the game, you know, your mind gets to the game, your hands get to the game, but sometimes your legs don't quite come.
Featherstone took a long bus trip. Was supposed to play in a trip up to Hamilton, but his back tightened on the 10-hour bus ride. Wound up having to fly back to Providence. But now he is ready and back in the lineup tonight after missing 12 games. 5-on-4 power play for the Providence Bruins, but Darren Rumble comes up with it. Richey does keep it in, but not for long, as McBain knocks it back out to center. Here's Sweeney's centering pass, just missed Panalea, as Sweeney came from out of nowhere. Miller is back, and New Haven is back in full strength. Andrew McBain going back behind the goal. Mark Fortier. Fortier running into referee LaRue. Winnis knocked away by Weeks. Scott White goes back. Richey broke it up at the line. Here comes Winnis down the right wing. Chris Winnis flying down the right side. Winnis dropping it back, has failed to click with Sweeney. Featherstone got a shot. That was knocked down on the defense. Mankiewicz gets it across the line. Lou stops it back behind the goal. Featherstone moving it over for Winnis. Covering up now Clark Donatelli. Donatelli with a game-winning goal here with 2.4 seconds to go in overtime to beat Utica 7-5, or 7-6 rather. On Friday night, Steve Jakes. Darren Kimball just missed Donatelli. That should be icing. And is. We'll get a face-off back in the Providence zone with 6:10 remaining here, second period.
Well, that was a nice idea. The pass was a little bit out of the reach of Donatelli, but had that been an accurate pass, Donatelli was solo in on Weeks. Well, that's very poor play by Rumble on the sideboards to allow Chris Winnis to just drive right through. Winnis unable to convert with Sweeney coming down the slot. But, you know, Winnis is not 6'4", 220 pounds, and he just rumbled with a less than inspired effort along the sideboards to keep him from penetrating. There it is, 6 foot 170.
Chris Winnis out of the University of New Hampshire. There's a clanger by Hammer. Oh, Hammer rang one off the pipe right off the faceoff. So 2 pipes tonight for New Haven. Although right after they hit it the first time, Rumble wound up scoring on the power play. Here comes Steve Jakes. We passed the 14-minute mark of the second period. Providence leading New Haven by a score of 3-2. Mankiewicz bumped there by Steve Jakes. And a face-off will go to the left of Steve Weeks. 5:37 to play here, second period, as tonight's broadcast comes your way from the Providence Civic Center.
If you want the best there is, you go to a specialist, someone who knows the field, knows your needs. Now, if you're shopping for a minivan, you want the specialist at the Dodge Minivan store. They know more about minivans because Caravan is America's bestseller, outselling all other minivans. And because there are so many Caravan styles to choose from, just tell the specialist your needs. They'll do the rest. Only at your nearest Dodge dealer, the Minivan store.
We are back in the face-off. Here's Hammer with the shot. Clanger off the post. Whoa! Blue still doesn't know where that one was.
Sweetest sound to a goaltender's ears.
Radek Hammer was Ottawa's 4th pick in the 73rd overall, and 92 played for Sparta in Czechoslovakia. He's also a Sparta as a Russian.
Hawley goes back behind the goal. Here come the Senators. Top farm club with the newest, one of the 2 new teams in the National Hockey League, the Ottawa Senators. This is their #1 farm club, New Haven. There's Huskroft inside the line. His shot was blocked on the defense. Easy for Winnis. Duras whacking at it behind the goal. Brad Miller now will come out for the Senators. Headmanning it to Ken Hawley. Hawley scoots it down the right wing. Blair Atchison with a shot, and overskating the rebound was LaBelle. Fine save by John Blue. Brad Miller. Hawley knocking down Olsen. Duras swinging it back out to center. Blair Atchison going back after it for Ottawa, or not for Ottawa, but for New Haven. Too far for LaBelle. Blue comes out to cut the angle down. Blue slides in. Bucko wound up back behind the goal. Well, Fortier was battling there with Stephane Richer, and we'll get a face-off coming up in the Providence zone. John Blue playing well.
Rushed down the ice by Fortier. I thought that possibly the Providence defense went to sleep a little bit, thinking that the call might have been an icing call coming down the ice, but finally late onto the play, Stephane Richer comes in and puts the wood to Fortier.
Blue so far 4-0 this year, going after his 5th win without a loss.
That was just a long backhanded clearing pass, and it looked as if it was going to go, and Fortier chased it down.
Off the draw, back to the point. Rumble feeding it through traffic. Arden St. Amour playing it back to the corner. Panaleyev steps between the two and gets it back out to center. And here comes Tim Sweeney. It'll be Bob's guess during the second intermission. Trying to roll it out in front. Donatelli took a whack at it. Donatelli centering pass. Sweeney puts it wide. Mark Fortier goes back behind the goal. Stephane Richer. And McBain will shoot it out to center where Donatelli is in control. Rumble skating his man, Richer, out. Here's Panaleyev, always dangerous. McKim fires, saved by Weeks. Panaleyev to McKim. McKim right on the button, and Weeks comes up big.
Stay with Nesson every Thursday night at 6:30 for This Week in the Big East, an in-depth look at what's going on in college football's newest and most exciting football conference. Join Doug Brown for all the highlights, scores, and upcoming matchups. That's This Week in the Big East, Thursday nights at 6:30 right here on Nesson. Panaleyev very clever with the stick right here. Little wide dribble, gets on the forehand, leaves the puck right there for McKim, comes right down the chute. Weeks had to be alert to stop that one. Boy, what a talented little move by Panaleyev, and McKim frustrated.
Face off to the right of Weeks. 3:32 remains here, second period. 1 goal advantage, 3-2 for the Providence Bruins. Hammer moving it across. And Milano rolled it right out in front, and that was knocked away by Weeks. Back now comes McKim. McKim is spun around, skated out by Brett Miller. St. Cyr getting it back out to center. Blue with the stop. And Jakes goes back behind the goal. We've passed the 17-minute mark here in the second period. Providence leads New Haven 3-2. There's Andrew McKim. Brad Miller breaks it up at center ice. McKim knocks it away. McKim scoots down the left wing. That was in turn dumped over there. This time a penalty coming up to Jake Grimes. Grimes for taking down McKim at 17:26.
Well, McKim is a frustrating kind of guy to play against. He always seems to have the puck on the stick. He's always a kind of feisty kind of guy. He's working it loose. Here he goes again, working it loose, penetrating in the zone. A little leg trip right there. You see Grimes get the left leg out and trip McKim as McKim tries to come back door, stop there halfway in the zone and create a play. Jake Grimes off for tripping, but McKim just drives you nuts out there. Just a feisty player with some talent.
Well, the power play unit out there again for Coach McConnell for the 4th time tonight. They've gone 1 for the previous 3. Winnis along with Sweeney and VZ up front.
I think if they could get a power play goal here and get a 2-goal lead, they could put this New Haven team on the run. New Haven is struggling. They've been, we got some glass problems in the corner. Hopefully we can fix that quickly. But New Haven is a team that has not played well. They have 1 win in the last 10. They've lost 8 straight. As long as it's a 3-2 game, you keep them alive for the late stages of the game. If they can put a 2-goal distance between them, I think they could get them on the run. Fans, for the most complete selection in officially licensed sportswear, pay a visit to the North Station Concourse. And there you'll find the Boston Bruins Pro Shop. Pro Shop is open every day of the week, plus before and after every Bruins home game. If you've got sports fans on your shopping list, then the Bruins Pro Shop is for you. Let's see if we can see what knocks the glass out.
Similaro drilled by Lassard.
There it is.
Coming right into your living room.
Saw it right here on Nesson. There's Lassard's played well tonight on loan from San Jose.
You gotta get a rink there.
I judge a rink's effectiveness by how quickly they replace these son of a guns.
Well, not replace it. I think what it is jammed. It's not in alignment right now. Still waiting for the power play. While we do, we'll tell you again that New Haven is home. If you or not New Haven, but Providence is home. New Haven will be here in a little bit, but Friday night it'll be Springfield. That's Friday the 20th of November. That's a 7 o'clock
see
start.
The problem? Well, we don't have it right there. We always going to isolate the problem.
Well, apparently what we're going to do is we're going to have the end of the period, and what they'll do is they'll take the 2 minutes and 34 seconds, I believe, and then tack it on to the next period and make that a 22-minute period.
Well, that's a great decision. We ought to shake the hand of the man that made that choice.
And apparently the delay will be such that they need some time to fix it. So basically, this will be the end for the moment of the second period. We will set the clock for 15 minutes, have a little bit of an intermission. We'll have our second intermission for you. We'll come back, then play the first 2:34, break, and then play the last 20 minutes. So let's take a break right now with a score. 3-2 in favor of Providence. Back with more after this.
Sometimes even the smallest changes can make a world of difference. As a national leader in energy conservation, Granite State Electric would like to help you make some small changes. Smart energy decisions for your home or business that can save you money and help protect our environment. From energy-efficient motors to energy-efficient lighting, we can help you see energy conservation in a whole new light. To find out more, call us.
Come on board the Boston College bandwagon every Monday night with Eagles 92, a 30-minute look inside Boston College football. This weekend, the Eagles were back home to take on the 10th-ranked Syracuse Orangemen in a crucial Big East battle, one that has major bowl ramifications. Get the inside scoop on BC Syracuse. Join me, Tom Larson, for Eagles 92, tomorrow night at 6:30 on Nesson. Your ticket to Boston College football.
The puck has dropped on the new hockey season, and the Bruins are off at a furious pace. Check out Nesson Sports Desk, the morning edition, as we bring you complete coverage of the black and gold in their quest for Lord Stanley's Cup. The Celtics will learn what life without Larry is like as they tip off another NBA campaign. And while the Pats remain grounded in Foxborough, the Eagles are flying high at the height. We'll keep you up on BC's bid for a bowl. Catch it all every weekday morning from 5 to 9 right here on Nesson Sports Desk, the morning edition.
The gas to center, knocks it off for Dion, picked off by Joyce. Joyce fires, he scores! John Joyce wins it for BC in overtime. Here's Prendergast, oh, what a save by Snow. Rebound, Mark Mavis is shot, Prendergast scores! A short-handed goal by Mike. Hockey East tickets are now on sale for all 8 schools. To get your BC tickets, 552-3000, or for BU, 353-3838. Well, welcome to the early start of our second intermission. There's still 2 minutes and 34 seconds remaining in the second period. But with the problem with the glass, they'll have to fix that. Meanwhile, we'll have an intermission. And obviously, Bob, these guys never mind intermissions.
Well, following the steps of their hero, Clark Donatelli, born and raised here in Providence and now playing with the Providence Bruins. I bet those kids are all playing for some youth hockey team in the Providence area.
Yeah, they claim they are #1, but the fans again coming out here in the Providence area. If you again for the home schedule, just to let you know what it is, Friday night, the 20th of November, Springfield is here. Springfield always has a great hockey team. They're here for a 7:05 start. And then they have a couple of home games sandwiched around the Thanksgiving holiday. The night before Thanksgiving against Fredericton, that'll be a 7:05 face-off. And then the afternoon after Thanksgiving on Friday, the 27th of November, also Springfield will here for that one. And that one will be a 1:05 start. But our score 3-2 in favor of Providence at the end of, well, not almost at the end of 2 periods of play. When we resume play, Providence will start the period with the power play and a chance to add to that 3-2 advantage. Right now, let's go downstairs. Bob Norton standing by with Tim Sweeney.
Thanks very much, Bob. Tim, wide open hockey down here in Providence. A lot of goals being scored. As a forward, that must be just fine for you.
I think it's gone pretty well as far as scoring goals, but I think keeping them out of our net, it's been a big problem for us. I think we've averaged about 7 goals on the road, and we really haven't won too many games. So I think the goals are great, but as long as we have to keep the puck out of our net, and I think that's going to be our biggest problem right now.
You were probably Calgary and have come here to Providence. How has that worked out for you?
I think it's worked out pretty well for me. I know a lot of people in the organization, and I'm close to home. My family gets to see a lot of me, and Boston's really been an organization that gives people a chance to play if they produce, and I think right now I'm producing. As you can see today, they called up Joseph Stumple, so as long as I keep working hard, I think things will fall into place for me.
Talking about that, you're the #4 scorer in the league right now. Stumple was just red hot. What has it been down here that's enabled you to play so well and to be as productive as you've been?
Well, I think Joseph and myself really complement each other really well. We've had a couple of right wings playing with us, but together we really just seem to have that communication, even though we don't speak the same language. But I think that we always knew where each other were on the ice, and I think that communication has a lot to do with it in the offensive zone. And I think when you have a guy as talented as Joseph is, I think I just have to read off him, and I think things have really worked out well.
You look at your career, and you've had a good career as a college player, and you're working real hard to make it on a full-time basis in the NHL. You had opportunities possibly with expansion clubs. Does it work better for you to be with a stable club like Boston, an established club like Boston, even if you're in Providence in terms of moving up, or would it have been better to be with one of the expansion teams?
You know, I don't really know. I think I like to be close. Right now, I'm really liking being close to home as I am, because going into a training camp like that, you really don't know what to expect. They might already know who they want to go with, and then you know they're not going to be a winner right away. I knew that when I came here that Boston's always been a winner, and plus it's my hometown, so I think as long as I keep working hard, I think things are going to work out for the best.
When I first saw you come in here tonight, I said, you've taken off some weight since you're a college player, and it just looks like you're a little bit thinner, a little bit lighter. Is that purposeful? Did you do that? Was that what you had in mind?
Yeah, coming into college, I really got onto the weights a lot, and I think I was playing at about 200 pounds throughout my college career, and I think once I got to the pro level game, we doubled the amount of games we had to play. So I think just going for 80 games a season really just keeps the weight off me, and I think I'm a little bit quicker than I was in college because I'm about 10 pounds lighter.
Any difference between the American Hockey League, and you played out in the West, your previous parts of your career, any difference playing here in the East in the American Hockey League?
Well, from what I hear about the AHL, it was supposed to be a tight, close checking game, but so far this year there hasn't been too many of those. So I think they're equal. It's as far as I can see so far. There's been a lot of talent in both leagues, and I think pretty much the same leagues. I think the Eye has been known to be wide open in the past, but I think it's getting to be a good team because they're getting a lot of other teams coming down from, the Calgarys and the other teams.
Everybody that watches these games tells me, watch Sweeney, he's playing great hockey. I said, boy, I've seen that for a long, long time. He's always been a great hockey player. Good luck to you.
Thank you very much, Bob.
Tim Sweeney's been our guest. Back to you, Robert.
Okay, thank you, Bob. And Sweeney has certainly been all over the ice tonight for the Providence Bruins, who enjoy a 3-2 advantage over the New Haven Senators. We are at our second intermission. We're going to back for a look at the trials and tribulations of road life in the American Hockey League. We'll have that feature and more for you when we continue here on NESN.
Come on board the Boston College bandwagon every Monday night with Eagles 92, a 30-minute look inside Boston College football. This weekend, the Eagles were back home to take on the 10th-ranked Syracuse Orangemen in a crucial Big East battle, one that has major bowl ramifications. To get the inside scoop on BC Syracuse, join me, Tom Larson, for Eagles 92, tomorrow night at 6:30 on NESN. Your ticket to Boston football.
the world swing away in the Virginia Slims of New York. Live from Madison Square Garden tomorrow night at 7 on Nesson. Your ticket to the best in women's tennis.
What time is it? Time to reel off NBA action. A four-star basketball show with a jamming lineup. For the history buff, a stroll down memory lane. For the inquiring mind, the up-close and personal.
I'm a bad dog.
And for you basketball aficionados, start counting the play. All in NBA action.
Catch the action Tuesday night at 6:30 on Nesson.
Here comes Thompson with a shot. That was knocked down out in front by Weimar. They score! Stewart picked up the loose puck. Things nowhere.
He's got a superb anticipation.
Here's Barron cutting, and he scored! Mark Barron and the BC Eagles are flying high under new coach Steve Cedar-Chuck, while UNH, last year's Hockey East runners-up, hope to take it one step further. That's UNH at BC, Friday night at 7, right here on Nesson. Well, there's our score, 3-2 Providence. We're at our second intermission, but the legendary Bob Norton never naps. He was even studying Scoro, and while nothing escapes your attention. What do you have for us?
This Scoro is one of the toughest scores. Now here's the hole that we're trying to put it in. This is 3 inches wide, this puck. Now, I'm going to tell you, this is got to be about 3 inches and one of Sean McDonough's hair lengths right here to get through this sucker. Now watch this, because you want to see this thing at 80 feet. Take a look at it at 8 inches. Watch. We're going to put a guy right next to it to throw it in. And he misses.
It does fit. It does fit.
He misses twice from
there.
Now, you know what the odds are from 80 feet when you miss twice from 8 inches?
Not very good.
Scoro here is a real Scoro, I'll tell you.
And it's a 3-2 lead for the Providence Bruins over New Haven at the end of 2 periods of play. You've heard a lot of complaints from, I think, any professional athlete.
I'd have a complaint about that game. I'd want a bigger hole. If you're going to put me out there 80 feet on a mat, taking a stick. And that guy got booed that shot it because he missed the board. They booed him. I couldn't believe it. And we couldn't put it in from 8 inches. Go ahead. What were we going to say?
You hear a lot of complaints from professional athletes about life on the road. But really, compared to life in the AHL, the National Hockey League players really don't have anything to complain about. Let's take you on a road trip in the American Hockey League with Steve Burton.
These guys don't get a whole lot of recognition, so they have to scrape, fight, and hustle for everything they deserve. They're the Providence Bruins, the Bees minor league club. And life down on the farm compared to the NHL is like night and day.
Oh, well, definitely it's tougher down here than the NHL. I mean, I know that for a fact. We carry our bags everywhere. You don't see Ray Bork carrying his bag anywhere, do you? I mean, we got to carry our bags. It's definitely a more difficult life down here.
Now, if it sounds like Del Judas is complaining, he's not. It's just that he and some of his teammates have had a brief taste of NHL life. Take travel, for instance. While the Boston Bruins travel by jet, the Providence Bees take the bus.
Heck, I don't know where the Boston airport is. Guys, I go up there on a couple of the trips, and they take a bloody limousine to the airport, and then they shuttle them out to the plane. I mean, it's unreal. Here they make us run to the bus.
I drive up to Hamilton. It was 12-hour bus ride. I tell you, the bus ride is good because a lot of camaraderie. Guys are a lot closer. You're on the bus, you get to know the guys a lot better.
Now, if the long bus trips aren't tough enough, check out the minor league schedule. The Baby Bruins play 3 games on the weekends and sometimes 4 games in 5 nights.
It's tough because you play so many games. It's tough to get practice in. And, it's tough to skate guys when you get 4 games coming up in 5 nights. So he has to work himself around that. But it's tough when the 4th game on Sunday night, you're dead.
It's definitely not easy. But being down here, you're in the minors. They need to, put the scheduling, for the fans. So they have to schedule it, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, maybe throw one in on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. So, we have to play like that, or we're not going to get the fans, and we're not going to get paid.
And at this level, money is tight, especially when you have to pay for your own meals. These guys don't dine at the finest restaurants, and if you miss a meal, you're plumb out of luck.
We were in CDI, Capital District, and we're supposed to order dinner before the game starts. So I ordered, you know, and everybody else ordered. So we get on the bus after the game, and we end up $60 short. So everybody's got to fork up, you know, money to pay the extra tab because some guys didn't put their money in. And then, you know, I end up paying 10, 15 bucks, and I didn't even get a meal.
Life in the minors can be disappointing at times, leaving players with dreams and hopes. Bigs. The crowds may not be as large, but the talent level in minor league hockey has improved considerably.
It's getting to be where you're getting 22 quality players down here, and you don't see the bad attitudes down here or the people that don't care anymore. I mean, everybody here is looking for a job up top in Boston, and they're working pretty hard to see it. As you can see in the weight room now, you got 15 guys in here, whereas maybe 5 years ago when I broke in the league, you might have seen 2 or something like that.
So it's a lot of hard work. The bus rides along, and the food, well, it's catch as catch can. But for those hoping for a shot at the NHL, they really don't mind the wait.
Well, it's different. You know, you don't play in front of the big crowds. It's not as, you know, media conscious as you do get in the bigs. And but it's a fun way to make a living. The guys, if they work hard, and if you win some hockey games, you can have a gas down here.
Well, thank you, Steve. And it really is fun. But you know, we do hockey, Bob, and boy, there's got to be an adjustment for the college hockey player who plays probably half or a third of the schedule.
I think that they certainly carry their own bags, so they're used to that part of it. They take long bus trips, but I think the length of the schedule is what gets a younger player tired out, and you're not used to playing every night like that. You just got to show up, and every game is key and important for you personally, and you just have to focus in that way. And that, I think, is one of the more difficult things for younger players to discipline themselves to. And obviously the guys are bigger and stronger, and you're taking a whacking more often. But, you know, this is a very good league, and there's a lot of good talented players here. And one of the things that I think has improved is there's not the kind of play that we used to see in this league, where it was really at times a hatchet league. That's not particularly the Eye as well had a reputation as a hatchet league. I said everything's quicker and faster, and I think there's more players come into this league who have skills and quickness and speed, and you find a much better league that's better for the fans.
Well, Providence right now with a 3-2 lead over New Haven. This is the 4th game in 5 nights, the 3rd in the last 3 nights for the Providence Bruins. Might be a little tired as they come out for the 3rd period. The big club was in action last night on Garden Ice up on Causeway Street. The Bruins against the Toronto Maple Leafs. So let's take a look at the highlights. NHL goals against leader Felix Potvin in net last night as the Toronto Maple Leafs descend on the Garden. The opposition for the Bees, no real surprise. Number 35, Andy Moog. The Leafs, Rob Pearson will draw first blood with 3.5 minutes to go in the opening stanza. Pearson steals the puck in the Boston end, and when he converts a return pass from Toronto goes up 1-0, but less than 2 minutes later, the Bees strike back.
Fires it off the boards. It's blocked by Poulin. In for Hines. Hines trying to come off the boards for Hughes. Shot scores! Hughes from Hines. Potvin fumbled it.
1-1 after one, but early in the 2nd period, Toronto goes back up on top.
Trying to move it out. Kent. Ellett with it. Tees it up. Shot. Save. Hit the post. And the rebound is knocked in.
Really not a great night for our beloved black and gold. Toronto beating the hometowners to the puck almost all night long. The biggest benefactor in all this was Toronto's Glenn Anderson. He rounded out the scoring by capitalizing on the Bruins' D, both late in the 2nd period and then again early in the 3rd.
Sum it up, the Bruins are outworked. Here's Krushelnyski in front. Anderson scores. And Anderson makes it 4-1 as the Bruins stood around.
Not a pretty night at all on Causeway Street as Brian Sutter and the Bees fall to Toronto. Final score 4-1 Maple Leafs. Well, Bruins haven't lost a whole lot, though. 9-4-2 on the year. They're in action tomorrow night at the Forum against the Montreal Canadiens. Right now, Jacques Demers has the Habs right on top of the Adams division standings. 12-4-2 at 26 points. Quebec playing well. Buffalo is a very good hockey club this year, and then Hartford, and then you can see Ottawa struggling at 1-15-1, which gives you an idea why New Haven might be struggling, because they're the top farm club of Ottawa.
Well, I'll tell you, that's a tough division. You look at the teams in that division, those records aren't by accident. There's some good quality teams there.
Well, our score 3-2 in favor of Providence at the end of 2 periods of play. Bob Norton is back with the world-famous Nort board right after this. It's always exciting. It's always fun. It's Hockey East, and it's on the run. So bring some friends or come alone. Nah, get a date. Get on the phone. It's college hockey, the best game in town. So get your tickets and cheer them on. Tickets are now on sale at the ticket office of your favorite team. For UMass Lowell, 934-2335, or for Merrimack, 837-5341.
For the best in fresh and saltwater fishing, tune in each week to Jim Baugh's American Angler. We'll show you some of America's top fishing holes, as well as great tips on travel and cooking. So join us each week as we take you on the most beautiful angling adventures in America. That's Jim Baugh's American Angler.
Wednesdays at 5:30 on Nesson, your ticket to the great outdoors. The puck has dropped on the new hockey season, and the Bruins are off at a furious pace. Check out Nesson Sports Desk, the morning edition, as we bring you complete coverage of the black and gold in their quest for Lord Stanley's Cup. The Celtics will learn what life without Larry is like as they tip off another NBA campaign. And while the Pats remain grounded in Foxborough, the Eagles are flying high at the Heights. We'll keep you up on BC's bid for a bowl. Catch it all every weekday morning from 5 to 9 right here on Nesson Sports Desk, the morning edition.
Get a double dose of motorsports excitement Thursday night with Wheel Power at 5:30, followed by On Pit Road at 6 on Nesson. Your ticket to the best in auto racing action.
Welcome back, everybody. The Civic Center in downtown Providence. Providence Bruins ahead of the New Haven Senators 3-2. It was 2-1 score at the end of one, and we have goals by Ottawa right here. Watch Darren Rumble hit a clanger off the crossbar. Puck is going to go to the sideboards where Fortier is going to get it halfway out. Now watch what happens right here. The idea in power play is to create a 2-on-1. Here's one. There's another one. Now Duras is the guy they're going to try to isolate. Duras is going to go a little too aggressively on this man in the corner, and as soon as Fortier sees it, he dishes it off to the point man, and watch what happens. Duras goes, commits, dish it off. Now look at here. There's space created on the inside for Rumble now to move and take a shot because Duras has committed so hard to the outside on the sideboards. Shot, screen on front of goaltender Blue. He doesn't see the shot. The screen in front disturbs him by Andrew McBain, and that's the goal that made it 2-2. But the Peter Duras will come back at 10-17 and make the score 3-2. Duras will get a pass from Andrew McKim and Glenn Featherstone. Featherstone gave it to McKim. Now watch what happens here. Here's McKim. He's going to penetrate to the middle of the ice. Now watch, you have 1, 2, 3 defenders and only 2 forwards. So you should be defensively in pretty good shape. Watch. McKim penetrates. Now right off the bat, you have a converge on the puck carrier. Now the defenseman has the puck carrier. He doesn't need to be picked up by this man. This guy's wide open, and this guy right in here coming into the picture's wide open. So you still have a 2-on-3, but it's going to be defensively misplayed to the point that no one is going to pick up right here. Duras in the slot, comes through, still now 3-on-3, but a loose man on the outside. Shoots it. Weeks really does not make one of his best stops here as the puck trickles right to his pads, but everybody sagged into the defensive end off the McKim rush. 2 defenders chase the puck carrier. Puck's dished off, and Duras has a shot from the slot. That was at 10-17. Featherstone's goal started off the game at 3:47 from Vesey and Zoltok. That was a power play goal. Featherstone's second and first power play goal. At 13:41, Mark Fortier from Brad Miller and Andrew McBain. For Fortier, his first 5-year Quebec Nordique. Then at 14:55, Grigory Peneleyev, his sixth from Andrew McKim and Jamie Huscroft. And then at 8:48 of the second period, tying the score 2-2, Darren Rumble is first, his first on power play from Mark Fortier. And then making it 3-2, which is where we are now, 10-17. Peter Duras is fourth in 4 games from Andrew McKim and Glenn Featherstone.
Keep in mind, we still have 2 minutes and 34 seconds remaining here in the second period. They have fixed the glass. We'll play 2:34 and then take a break. Also, keep in mind that Grimes has just gone off for tripping, and so Providence with a power play for the 4th time tonight. It'll run another minute and 45 seconds as Featherstone will set up for the Providence Bruins. Action and picks the pass. Featherstone, though, knocks it free, and here's Winnis. And we got a slash. being called here by referee LaRue. And the slash is going to send off who?
I'm not sure. I thought Richer. I thought for Richer.
Yep,
right there.
There's the slash.
And it is Richer.
So end of power play. It comes at 17 minutes and 50 seconds. The slashing call against Stephon Richer, picked up from the Tampa Bay Lightning in the trade that sent Bob Beers down to Florida. And I see Bob's very happy at Tampa Bay.
He's playing a lot of hockky.
Probably a lot of golf, too.
Yeah, Beers another guy, coming out very similar to Featherstone's situation. Coming off of injury, you need time, you need playing time, and sometimes it's not easy to get when you're trying to make your way into a National Hockey League team with all the competition. But Beers needs some playing time, need to get the leg back in shape, need to get his foot quickness back in shape.
Kite comes across the line. Kite dropping it back. Here's Darren Rumble. Rumble against McKim. Failed to clear. Here's McBain with a chance. Nice save. McBain another shot. Another good save by Blue. And here come the Providence Bruins. Here comes McKim across the line. Broken up out in front of the net. As Rumble will carry to center. Atchinham gains the line. Atchinham has it knocked away by Blue. Grigory Panalev. Minute 30 to play here, second period. 50 seconds to go, and Grimes' penalty. Here's a chance. Similaro with a shot and a save by Blue. Tony Similaro trying to pull away, gunned it towards the goal, and Blue came up big.
Well, that was all Panalev overhandling the puck. He just did a pirouette in the defensive end, got away with that, but here he loses the puck coming outside the zone. Here comes Similaro with Panalev, a chaser. Blue makes the stop, but that was totally Panalev's overcarrying the puck that set up that scoring chance. And minute and 20 seconds remaining in the second period. I'll tell you, New Haven almost on the board. Panalev, the forward's got to get that puck out of the zone and not diddle with it in his defensive blue line.
Off the face-off, that was knocked down. Here's Brad Miller on the backhand. Huard staying right with him. Huard back behind the goal, being bothered by Gerry St. Similaro can't dig it free. We'll get a face-off to the left again of John Blue. 30 seconds to go in the penalty time to Grimes. When he comes back, a mini 24-second power play for St. Cyr and New Haven.
You see the tire tracks behind the goal line, right behind the Providence Blues net, the Providence Bruins net. It's a little rough back there. Always is a little rough where the Zamboni comes on the ice.
Minute 4 to play here, second period. There's our score. Providence up by a goal. The difference in the hockey game. Duris's goal at the 10-17 mark of the second period from McKim and Featherstone that broke the tie. Providence unbeaten in its last 3 games, 2-0-1. Brad Miller breaking it up at the blue line. Gerry St. Cyr off for Hammer, back over now for Miller. Less than a minute to play here, second period. Huard sending it in. Weeks stopping it back behind the goal. Grimes comes back in 3 seconds, and a mini power play now for New Haven. Roddick Hammer. Hammer's tied up by Lazard. Duris to clear. And that will wind up in the bench area, so we'll get a face-off. 25.8 seconds remain here in period 2.
Well, Hammer had a nice carry, worked the puck into the zone, established it along the sideboards, and then coughed it up. Not exactly what you want to do when you're down 3-2 with 25 seconds remaining in the second period. You'd like to get it in deep and try to get a shot off, or if you stop it on the sideboards, at least try to create a play, but he did neither of the two.
Fortier is out there on the power play. Has got Martin St. Amour on the left side. Andrew McBain on the right. Scott White will man 1 point. And I believe it's Hammer on the other point. Andrew McKim going on the faceoff. St. Amour with a shot, and that was stopped by goaltender Blue. That'll do it for the power play as Rumble now will swing back. Less than 10 seconds remain in the period. Both teams are back at full strength. Mark Fortier. Here's McBain cutting in. McBain was knocked out as the horn sounds, and that ends the second period of play. So we will take a very quick break and be back with the third period just like that, because there won't be much time between the two. And our score after two, Providence 3 and New Haven 2.
Sometimes even the smallest changes can make a world of difference. As a national leader in energy conservation, Narragansett Electric would like to help you make some small changes. Smart energy decisions for your home that can save you money and help protect our environment. From energy-efficient lighting to energy-crafted homes, we can help you see energy conservation in a whole new light. To find out more, call us.
Well, just like that, we are ready to go third period of play now. 3-2 the score in favor of Providence. Joined us late, we had a glass problem with 2 minutes and 34 seconds remaining in the second period, and rather than have a long wait, what they did was just send the teams to the dressing room. Finish off the last 2 minutes and 34 seconds of the period, and now we're starting with the third period play. McBain now carrying to center ice, shoots it down the left side. St. Cyr cutting in against Kimball. Kimball wrapped him hard, and Kimball's going to go. Kimball for roughing at 21 seconds. Kimball smacked him right in the chops. Kimball hitting Martin St. Amour. So, fourth power play of the night coming up for New Haven. There's Kimball, a rather obvious call for referee Dennis LaRue.
Well, that's not the way to start off your third period. Darren Kimball gets 2 minutes for roughing at 21 seconds. 3-2 the score. The Providence Bruins lead. The score was 2-1 at the end of the first period. Each team scored a second period goal. We had a piece of glass out at with about 2 minutes and change left of the second period. We played the rest of the second period at the beginning here, and now we're just in the third.
Well, we'll see what happens on a power play. Another opportunity for New Haven, but Sweeney will send it all the way down the ice. Shots on goal in the second period, 16 for New Haven, 2 period total of 27. 10 for Providence, 2 period total of 25. 3-2 lead in favor of the Providence Bruins. That's offside. They did that twice on a power play before last.
Well, they did it. Actually, they've done it a number of times, and they very, very sloppy in their 5-minute major in the first period. I think that they had a legitimate gripe there. Complaining that they weren't offside on the play is
Fortier?
Yeah, Fortier. He's saying that he kept his leg on and stretched that leg out and stayed onside, but they're not going to get the call. I think he was onside.
Fortier is out now against Tim Sweeney on the draw at center ice. Goal by the Bruins. Comes back to Steve Jakes, and there's the opening, and the puck goes all the way back down behind Weeks. We're approaching the 1 minute mark of the third period, a minute 25 to go in the roughing call against Kimball. Senator is breaking out at center. Fortier gaining the line against Jakes. Broken up by Sweeney. Sweeney with some room, skates out to center. Now goes back the other way.
That was not a good pass by Fortier. Trying to establish the puck in the zone, he made a difficult pass to the far point, and Doris was in good position and deflected.
Fortier again, dropping it off. Martin St. Amour carrying in deep.
And Lassard, nice job, stepped right up, saw that everybody was covered, and stepped right up into the puck carrier. Good play.
Rumble from the point, and a nice save by Blue. Little dig after the whistle there by St. Amour, and he winds up flat on his rear end. Blue had it covered, and the Senators tried to dig it free. And the Providence players reacting predictably.
Blue was on that play all the way. Shot from the outside by Darren Rumble, who already has a goal tonight and has a clanger as well. Rumble lined up on the left point, gets the feed, and a lot of traffic in front of Blue, but he's got a pretty good look at that shot. Difficult to see from there, but right in front of him, from that right post out, he had a look. It looks like there's traffic in front of him at this point, but that was a little bit later. He had a chance. Lassard dumped Rumble. Good play by... Now, that's what New Haven didn't do in the earlier rush to in the Duras goal. When people are covered, step up and whack somebody, knock them down.
Weeks will have to stop it at the other end. 30 seconds now with the roughing call against Kimball as we approach the 2-minute mark here in the third period. Hammer clears to center. Rhymes circles with it. Featherstone has St. Cyr tied up. It'll wind up in offside, and the faceoff will come back outside the Providence line.
You saw Lassard read that play, and we saw the replay there. You saw him read the play. When you have a 2-on-3 rush, we have a penalty called here. The defenseman has an opportunity, since there's 3 of you and only 2 of them, to step up and make contact with the puck carrier and prevent the carry into the zone. Lassard did it there. New Haven didn't do it early in the game and early in the second period, and resulted in a Providence goal.
New Haven penalty to number 19, Gerry St.
It was not the offside. It was holding against St. Cyr.
2 minutes for holding the stick.
Holding the stick.
2 minutes, 5 seconds.
So 16 seconds, and Kimball will return. And then Providence will enjoy the man advantage.
I think that's a great point of emphasis this year in the NHL to call that, and the AHL, to make that call. Actually, in all of college hockey, we've seen it called a number of times in all of college hockey as well as professional hockey, because it's just a ridiculous kind of thing to do with a hold a guy's stick. You get away with it, it's not ridiculous, but it should be called a holding penalty.
Shooting in is Stefan Richer, dropping it back. Here's Winnis trying to slide it in. Winnis back in front. Featherstone scores! That'll go as a power play goal. Featherstone with the goal on the pass from Winnis. Featherstone is second of the night from Winnis at 2:25 here in the third period. 4-2 Providence.
Well, I'll tell you, this is just a good play by everybody involved. Richer with a nifty little drop pass. Hits Winnis coming down the side. Now, he's got clear sailing. Moves behind the net. Little flipper, but it comes to the backboard. Stays with the play and hits Featherstone, the defenseman, following the play. A lot of good offensive plays there. Starting off with Richer's little back pass. Then Winnis staying on the play, continuing on the play behind the goal line. And then Featherstone, the defenseman, continuing right down the chute on the offensive rush and getting that goal as Winnis sets him up beautifully.
Well, Providence now with a 4-2 lead. Scott White being chased by Winnis, dumps it across for Brad Miller. Blue with the stop. Darrell Olson is back. Here's Billy Huard playing it off the glass to center. Gloved and dropped by Scott White, chased by Winnis. Hawley was bumped. Atchingham getting it across the line. This is Billy Huard. Stopped by LaBelle. Here's a chance for Atchingham. Atchingham cutting it. Fired! And a save by John Blue. And a save by a sliding John Blue on Blair Atchingham. Knocked in by Winnis. Winnis against White. Back behind the goal. Centering pass. Huard was robbed by Weeks. So a save at one end and a big save at the other.
That's another look. Here's Huard again, set up right behind, in front of the net by Winnis. Winnis behind the goal line. Then Huard gets another shot at it. You saw that time Weeks was down on the knees, and he just hits him in the shoulder. Here's Atchingham. Great play. Sliding save by Blue as he just comes across. He had a feeling, I think, that Atchingham was going to try to go right to left on him, and he just came right out and slid and took the option away from Atchingham. Great stop at that end by John Blue, and at the other end by Steve Weeks as Huard was robbed. Winnis, same kind of play, set up Featherstone. Huard, 2 shots, really. Had a first one, he hit it. The second one, he ended up hitting him in the chest with it.
4-2 for Providence, almost 5-2 for the Bruins. Had Huard been able to get that one home. 16 minutes and 40 seconds to go in regulation here at the Civic Center. The Baby Bees up by 2. Face off to the right of Weeks. Jim Kite circling in his own zone. Overskating the puck, saved there by Blue, and a drive. That time a hard shot by McBain, and that was stopped by Blue. Jakes had started all that by overskating the puck for Providence. Back come the Senators to center. Lassard breaking that up. McBain bumping him. Threw a glove in the face that was missed. Jakes goes back behind the goal. Here's McBain at center, knocked away from him at the last moment. Jim Kite. Mark Fortier gaining the line. Off for McBain. Andrew McBain moving it across. Here's a shot by Hammer. Knocked down out in front of goaltender Blue. Grigory Panaleyev getting it back out to center. We passed the 4-minute mark of the third period. Providence 4 and New Haven 2. Stefan Richer. Andrew McBain, or McKim rather, out at center. McKim will clear it in. Stopped by Weeks behind the goal. On a camera, lost the puck. Panaleyev scores! Hammer lost the puck behind the goal. Weeks went for a walk, and Panaleyev puts it into the empty net.
This is what Panaleyev can do so well. We saw him over to carry the puck earlier, but Hammer, who's had a struggle at night all night long, loses the puck behind him. Never really had it as he went behind the goal line. Struggled right in that ice spot behind the goal, and Panaleyev took it away from him as he reached back for it, came around, and stuffed it in the wide-open net.
So his second goal of the night. 5-2 now in favor of Providence. Bruins are rolling on home ice again. 5-1 at home this year. This should well be number 6. Two-line pass offside. 15-14 to go in the hockey game. 5-2 Providence.
Fans, as we mentioned, if you want to be happy like these folks are, don't forget that you can be all part of this AHL excitement by attending a Providence Bruins game in person. Tickets are available at all Ticket Pro outlets or by calling 1-800-828-7080. See the Boston Bruins of tomorrow today by coming to see the Providence Bruins in action. There we go. Steve Weeks, 13-year pro NHL veteran. Great year with Vancouver in '89. Played with the New York Rangers, Hartford, Vancouver, New York Islanders, and L.A., and he's struggling tonight with a not very good New Haven Senator team.
Here's McKim, picked up by Donatelli. Donatelli rode it in front. Duras was tied up by Rumble. Shot by Huscroft. Another save by Weeks, who holds on. And a face-off will come to his left. We passed the 5-minute mark here in the third period. 14:51 to go.
Duras was tied up by Rumble on the first bid, and the centering pass went wide to the right, but Huscroft picks it up. Duras isn't tied up here. He deflects that shot from Huscroft from the outside, and a nice stop by Weeks, who's in position right by the corner of the post to make the save.
I mentioned Weeks has been around a long time. Oldest active goaltender, second oldest. We know who the oldest is. Reggie Lemlin of the Bruins.
He's going to get a lot older if he continues to see as many pucks as he's going to see with this club.
And Aleyev had it knocked away out in front. Finally, Bankiewicz sends it down the ice and back after it. Darrell Olsen off for Panaleyev, back out to center ice again. Bankiewicz sends it in, knocked down by Blue. Huscroft goes after it. From the point, Miller stopped by Blue. Miller from center ice will wrap it back in. Blue will stop it. Well, he doesn't stop it. Lets it go back behind the goal. Olsen tried to clear off for Panaleyev, back to center. We get a stoppage in play. We'll take a break as tonight's broadcast comes your way from the Providence Civic Center.
Come on board the Boston College bandwagon every Monday night with Eagles 92, a 30-minute look inside Boston College football. This weekend, the Eagles were back home to take on the 10th-ranked Syracuse Orangemen in a crucial Big East battle, one that has major bowl ramifications. Get the inside scoop on BC Syracuse. Join me, Tom Larson, for Eagles 92, tomorrow night at 6:30 on Nesson. Your ticket to Boston College football.
They've been tough all year on home ice. We've talked about that a couple of times.
Yep, they've been a pretty good third-period team, too. They've outscored their opponents 33-30, because every single period they've given up a lot and they've scored a lot. But this is one of the 3 periods that they've scored more than their opponents.
Interesting the next time they're home, too, because they got a couple of games around the holidays with Springfield. There's a chance. And McBain sends it wide. Springfield's a very good hockey team. On top of the Northern Division standings in the American Hockey League.
It's a great place to watch a game, and if you want to see good professional hockey in a beautiful facility, this is the place to come.
Referee LaRue with a penalty call here. Arm up in the corner. It's going to be a holding call. Probably will go, I believe, against Jakes.
Yeah, I think that's who it's going to go against, Jakes, and I think he was holding on the inside 40 here. Really hard to see the numbers on the New Haven uniforms. And when it's 40 here, it's doubly complicated by the fact that he's new on the team and doesn't have his name on his shirt. Watch this action behind the goal line. The puck is tipped. There's Jakes right there. And there's the hold on 40 right to the inside the face-off circle. And there is the referee's arm immediately going up. Steve Jakes.
So power play for New Haven, which has one power play goal on the night, and right off the faceoff, busy again, dropping down is John Blue. As the crowd chants, Blue, Blue.
Well, New Haven's had a struggle tonight getting their power play going. They've had 3 or 4 offsides on carries into the zone, and the beginning stage of their power plays, the first minute or so, frequently that's when you set the tone. They've just struggled.
54 left in Jakes' holding call.
One of their 2 goals tonight is a power play goal. The Providence Bruins have 2 power play goals, both by Glenn Featherstone. They lead 5-2.
Broken up by Featherstone. Chance in front for McBain, overskated it. Now Rumble, a drive goes over the top of the goal. There's Rumble again. Taken away, almost taken away by Sweeney. Finally cleared out of there by Chris Winnis.
That was an excellent play by Sweeney, poking the puck away, and a smart play by Winnis coming over to help him and getting the puck out of the zone.
Fournier rang one off the goalpost. Walked in and rang one right off the pipe. Martin St. Amour dropping it back, getting it back again. Now St. Amour sliding it off for McBain. By Featherstone. Here's St. Amour dropping it in front, broken up, and the Bruins are able to send it down the ice. 54 seconds to go in the power play. 12:30 to play in the hockey game. Here's a chance for Donatelli. It's shot off the line. Got White covering up in front of the goal. Entertaining hockey game. 5-2 for Providence. Been here twice now, Bob, and certainly no lack of action at the Civic Center.
We've seen plenty of scoring, that's for sure.
White from the point, moving it over for Hammer. White hammers it wide of the goal. Atchingham is skated out over there. Donatelli trying to clear it. Atchingham comes out with it. Behind the goal, St. Cyr was knocked down in front. Could be an interference call on Huscroft for taking down St. Cyr out in front of goaltender Blue.
And that's what it's going to be. Hockey East fans, the nation's most prestigious college hockey conference returns to Nesson next Friday night at 7 when Bob and I are going to be on hand when the UNH Wildcats take on the Boston College Eagles. It's college hockey at its best, and you won't want to miss a moment of the fun. That's UNH, New Hampshire, and Boston College in Hockey East next Friday night, live at 7 o'clock right here on Nesson. And we got a dandy of a game Saturday night, too. We've got BU and Maine.
Maine looks like they should be playing in the American Hockey League. Well, again, there was interference on Huscroft in front, but there was also a penalty on McKim, and McKim's the one who's going to get the penalty. So McKim will go 8-10.
They gave McKim a minor for cross-checking. Be a 4-on-3 situation. Oh, 5-on-3.
For the next 10 seconds.
For the next 10.
Situation where referee LaRue could have picked any one of the 2 penalties, chose one. Chose the McKim one rather than the Huscroft one out in front. There's your situation. 3-goal advantage for the Bruins. 11:50 to play in the game. Off the face-off. Again, a 2-man advantage for New Haven. Rumble tries to feed it through. Tipped in by St. Cyr, who got flattened by Featherstone. Stopped by Blue. Cleared by Sweeney. Jakes is back, and the Bruins now just down a man. Atchingham gains the line. Chased by Sweeney. Here's Grimes, watched by Durst. Tipped out in front of Blue, up at the top of the net by Atchingham. That comes off the magnet, so we'll get a stoppage of play. 11-12 to play in the hockey game. 1:22 left in the cross-checking call against McKim.
I thought they were gonna call a crease violation by New Haven, and I think that's what it is. Oh, no, it's the nets off the moorings. That's what it is. Referee was pointing right at the crease, and I thought that he was going to call a crease violation. Watch it right here, and you can see Featherstone just in front of the net deflects that pass. There's going to be a collision as they blew up into the net, and the net comes off.
Face-off will go to the right of blue. We've got St. Amour out on the right side. Fortier at center, McBain on the left side. Looks like Hammer along with Kite will man the points. Wrapped down the ice by Huard.
Hammer ducked. He didn't make any attempt to stop that. Huard fired that out, and Hammer's reaction was to get his head out of the way.
Past the 9-minute mark of the third period. 5-2 Providence. Here's Jim Kite. Off now for St. Amour. St. Amour against Featherstone, taken care of. And Lassard will tend to the puck. Roddick Hammer goes back after it. 40 seconds now left in the cross-checking call against McKim. Corey Panalea. Panalea will come out of the fray with the puck. Fails to clear. Kite keeps it in. Saved by Blue. McBain had it knocked free, and here come the Providence Bruins now out to center. This is Stephane Richer. Back the other way. Fortier gains the line. Fortier lining things up and broken up by Panalea.
That was really a poor play by Richer at the other end. They're in a shorthand situation. You want to get that puck in deep. What you don't want to do is lose it. That can be found at the blue line.
All these shots stopped by Blue. Providence is back in full strength. Rowland is ridden out. Rowland hasn't had a whole lot of ice time tonight. He's battling Donatelli along the board. Couple teams playing their fourth game in 5 nights. The pace of this game is great. Here comes McKim with some nifty moves. Falls down. Olsen back at his own line. A lot of times you get these 4 games in 5 nights and the legs go, particularly last period on the Sunday night. Both clubs tonight moving pretty good. Here's Vesey offside at the line. 8:53 remains in the hockey game. Tonight's broadcast comes your way from the Providence Civic Center.
Every week, Barron's arrives to an unusual reception. Readers plow into it in search of undiscovered values, emerging stocks, and market insights. A fresh issue of Barron's doesn't stay fresh long. And that's the beauty of it. Subscribe now to Barron's and get 13 weeks for only $28 with a money-back guarantee. Call toll-free 800-255-5000. That's 800-255-5000.
Bob Kurtz, Bob Norton back with you here. Civic Center in Providence, 5-2 for the Bruins. These two teams, by the way, meet again Wednesday night down at New Haven. A couple days off, a Monday and Tuesday, to rest up for another weekend of play in the American Hockey League. Blue out for a skate, and a tripping call coming up, I believe, against Olsen.
Yeah, well, what put them in this problem, and we've seen it a couple of times tonight, once by Jakes, this is the second one by Huscroft. Huscroft had the puck carrier lined up at the blue line, made the move and missed, and once he missed, they were just in a pickle.
So Olsen for tripping at 11:15.
Olsen just gets the puck lost in his skates. Gets a tripping call on that play, but the problem started earlier when at the blue line on the rush in the ice, Huscroft thought he had the puck carrier lined up and made the move and pulled El Wiffo.
6,584 on hand here at the Civic Center tonight. 7th power play of the night for New Haven. goal to show for it so far. 5-2 Providence, 8.5 minutes to play in the game. Gerry St. scooting across the line. Stopped by Blue behind the goal. Rick Lessard off the glass. St. Cyr keeping it in. Lessard given a second chance.
Now Huard made a good play there. That was another rush where they had more defenders back, and Huard stopped the puck carrier with the move and made the check.
St. Cyr keeping it alive. Lessard working along the boards, battling Hawley. Kim is also there. Hawley back behind the goal. Dumped by Huscroft. Huscroft hit by Actionum. Hawley out in front, stopped by Donatelli. Hammer charging down now for New Haven. Stopped by Blue, back behind the goal. 50 seconds to go in the tripping call against Olsen. White back behind his own goal. 30 seconds now to go in the penalty call against Olsen. Andrew McBain. McBain out at center. Watched by Sweeney. Dumps it off. Rumble backed it in. White keeps it alive. White takes the shot. That was blocked that time. It was caught by Sweeney. McBain trying to work it out in front. Watched by Panaleyev and Featherstone. Featherstone, Panaleyev, Jakes and Sweeney, the penalty killers for Coach O'Connell. Blue makes the save on the drive that time by Fortier and holds on. And we'll get a face-off to his right as you're looking there at Martin St. Amour.
Well, I tell you, he got decked by Jakes in front of the net. Just crushed. Oh.
4 seconds left in the penalty call against Olsen. 6:49 to play.
Bruins fans, the team's next 2 games tomorrow and Thursday are going to be on WSBK Channel 38. But then the Black and the Gold return to Nesson. They return with a vengeance on Saturday when the Bees play host to Eric Lindros and the Philadelphia Flyers. Be sure to tune in and get your first look at the man builders hockey's next great superstar. That's the Bruins and the Flyers next Saturday night at 7. That's live immediately following Bruins Digest right here on Nesson. Watch 3 Jakes on 18. Oh.
That could cost him 5.
Takes a stick right in the mouth. Oh.
Yep, it's a 5-minute major to Steve Jakes.
Pretty good year last year for Martin St. Amour at Cincinnati and the Eastern Hockey League.
4 seconds left in Olsen's penalty, so off the face-off, it'll be a 2-man advantage for New Haven. Jakes given a 5-minute major for high sticking.
A 5-minute
can't quibble with it.
For high sticking and a game misconduct.
He's got to leave the rink. He's over the penalty box, but he's out of the game. That's also game misconduct.
High stick and a game misconduct at let's see, it'll be 13-11, the time of the penalty.
Now, this is the second 5-minute major that New Haven's had an opportunity on. The first one, they just had a dismal first couple of minutes, and that set the tone for the entire 5. I think about 3 minutes into it, they picked up a penalty themselves to nullify it. You know, the first minute or so set the tone. Sometimes, you know, you have 5 minutes and you think you have all sorts of time and you don't focus right at the beginning. They need to focus right off the bat. They need to take advantage of this and get a couple of goals in this 5-minute advantage. Only 6:43 and counting remaining in the game.
Olsen has returned, so Providence now down just a man. 5-minute major. Jakes for high sticking. Hard check by Lessard that time on McBain. Here's Rumble moving it across. Off for White, back for Rumble. Broken up by Tim Sweeney.
That's poor movement by New Haven there. The pressure was on the outside with Winnis and Sweeney. Good job on that shorthand. They had to get it down inside and not diddle with it out high.
There's Fortier carrying out to center. Mark Fortier will gain the line. Fortier. Lessard tried to clear. St. Cyr kept it in. Here's Darren Rumble, a shot saved by Blue. Left out of there by Richer, but not out. Fortier in the corner, watched by Richey, off for Atchinham. Now for Fortier, black for Atchinham again, to Scott White on the point. Here's Atchinham, lined up by Richey. McKim comes up, McKim with a move, he's off to the races. McKim against Rumble. Huard is joining him. Here's McKim. McKim is in, and he's stopped by Weeks. Weeks still struggling to get up. Finally, McKim is done, and New Haven's going to get a penalty. Tonight's broadcast comes your way from the Providence Civic Center.
Fans, if you want to look just like the pros, then there's only one place for you, the Boston Bruins Pro Shop. The newly remodeled Pro Shop is located in the North Station Concourse at Boston Garden and is open Monday through Saturday from 10 to 5. You can also stop by on Sundays from 11 to 4 or before and after every Bruins home game. Choose from an array of official Bruins merchandise, as well as the rest of the NHL, NBA, and major colleges. You can look like your favorite players by stopping by the Bruins Pro Shop today.
Gerry St. at 14:34.
Now, this is played beautifully by the defenseman. McKim is going to pop this puck loose. You can see the puck coming loose away from Scott White. He becomes a chaser. Rumbles a defender in the middle. Now, McKim's waiting for that defenseman to make a move. But he holds, deny the pass, let the goalie take the shooter. Well played by Weeks. Rumble denied the pass over to Bill Huard. That's where McKim was trying to go. That was well played by New Haven.
That is done. Just misses off the faceoff. So we're playing 4 skaters aside out in front of the goaltender. Eventually, assuming no further penalties, New Haven will resume the power play, but not for right now. Jim Kite goes back after it as we approach the 15-minute mark here in the third period. 5-2 for the Providence Bruins. Donatelli breaking it up. Starting back now at center ice, Tony Similaro dumped at the line.
Featherstone saying he took a dive.
Similaro actually went in. That was Grimes' dump at the line, and LaRue's going to call a hooking call. It'll come at 15:08. Featherstone for hooking.
Well, you be the judge. Featherstone saying Grimes earns an Academy Award for his performance at the blue line. But Grimes, nonetheless, is able to draw a penalty, and the Bruins are going to be down a man again.
So we're making our way towards the conclusion here at the Civic Center tonight. Mike O'Connell paces behind the bench as his team, he thinks, is on its way to its 8th win of the year against 10 losses and a tie.
Well, with the exception of one power play goal earlier in the game when Rumble scored at 8:48 of the second period, when New Haven has had man advantage and they have 4-on-3 here, they just have not been able to sustain any kind of power play. They've had occasional chances, but no sustained offense in the Providence defensive end. That's a tribute to the Providence shorthand defense. But New Haven just has not done a good job of controlling the puck.
Blue got a piece of it back behind the net. Hustroff with a hit. Here's McBain trying to work himself free. Hustroff breaking that up. Scott White from the point. Darren Rumble's drive is off the mark. McBain. Moving it down. Stopped that time by Fortier. Was knocked away by goaltender Blue. Here's Fortier again, trying to work it in front. Hit the outside of the net. Blue pops on the puck as Fortier was knocked down by Hustroff. And they exchange words. We'll get a face-off to the left of Blue. 4:15 to play in the game.
Fortier had a pretty good idea right there. He's trying to hit McBain to the offensive left of the net. McBain was alone. Hustroff did a nice job of blocking that pass. That was the play he was trying to create. He saw McBain was wide open. But, you know, you got to get the pass across. That's not an easy pass to make when you're being defended one-on-one, and Hustroff was able to deflect that pass. 6,584 here in the Civic Center tonight.
Attendance continues to be good here in Providence. Faceoff goes to the left of Blue. Off the draw, Rumble overskated it. Now gets it back for Scott White. Over for Darren Rumble. Off for White. Watched by Winnis. McBain trying to work it back out in front. Here's Rumble with a shot. That was blocked by the defense. Fortier hacked at there by Huscroft. Now McBain watched by Huscroft. Rumble trying to move in position. Off for White. White takes a shot. Blue makes the save. And now we got Huscroft going to Fortier. Huscroft and Fortier go in. There's a third man in. As moving in was Darren Rumble. Well, Huscroft and Fortier had words earlier on the power play. And the words finally come to blows. And Huscroft will be getting the gate. I'm not sure whether Fortier is going as well.
I think he is.
16-17 will be the time of the penalties.
Good shot from the outside. I thought it was sort of a strange move by Rumble. Rumble was the right point man and works. Watch him work to the front of the net. Now he keeps on going across when the shot's taken. Rather than staying right in front of Blue and screen him, he moved away from Blue and gave Blue a look at that shot. I thought he would have been much more effective just hanging in there. And there starts the 40-year Huscroft. I don't think Fortier ever put down his stick. That's a respectable average.
Yeah, he's added a few tonight.
He's had 2 years of, I pointed out earlier, of over 300. So when you've had 2 years of over 300, he did in 88 and 91 with 316 and 339 playing for Utica. You know, you're going to average somewhere around 200.
Well, he's going to have to stand in line because still 51 seconds to be served by Featherstone, and Huscroft's penalty cannot start until Featherstone's ends.
You see what I mean about the Rumble play, though? When he was in front of the net, he was in front, he was screening Blue, and then when the shot was made, he got out of the way and gave Blue a look at it, looking for a tip, I suppose. But well, I'll tell you, when you put that big frame in front of Blue, he didn't have a clue where the puck was coming from.
Standing room only across the ice from Coach O'Connell. Let's get the penalties.
Number 20, Andrew McBain. Providence penalty, number 25, Jamie Huscroft. 2 minutes each for roughing. Time of the penalties, 16-17.
Well, there were two players for New Haven, Fortier and McBain, that got penalties, and Huscroft got one.
That's sort of unusual. Usually they match them up. But on this situation, New Haven gets the extra.
Providence's 25, Jamie Huscroft, at 16 minutes, 17 seconds.
So we've got Olsen, Donatelli, and Richer on the ice right now for Providence. He's 3:43 to go in the hockey game. 5-2 should be a safe lead for the home six. What it's going to wind up being, I think, is a little 3-on-3 hockey here for a while. St. Cyr will return in 17 seconds. Featherstone's back in 51 seconds. And Jake still has 1:54 seconds to serve in his 5-minute major for high sticking. We've had a pretty good parade to the penalty box here in the third period.
Well, you know, you played as many games in a row as these teams have, particularly the Providence team, and the last 3 minutes and 43 seconds, you're going to play a good bit of that 3-on-3. That's a bit of a test for the legs. Everybody plays man on man.
Olsen now will seek refuge back behind Blue, chased there by Atchison. Off now for Stefan Richer. Here comes Olsen now out across his own line, carrying out to center. St. Cyr is back on. Extra man now for New Haven. It's a 4-on-3 power play right now for the New Haven Senators. 3:20 to go in the hockey game. From the point, Atchison is wide. This is Roddick Hammer. Hammer takes a shot. He hit the goal post. That's 3 pipes. At least 3, maybe 4 pipes tonight for New Haven.
And they've been loud pipes, too. They haven't been soft pipes. They have been loud pipes.
So 2 goals and 4 clangs.
Yeah, 4 clangers.
St. Cyr. The official from the truck, Bob Grattaroli and Paul Carroll, are excellent statisticians. 3 posts, 1 crossbar.
They're the only ones that are keeping that statistic.
Just
and
to be
I think
accurate.
it's great to have it, too. 3 posts and a crossbar.
Blue stopping it wide of the goal, leaving it there for Stefan Richer. But a 5-2 hockey game for Providence. Gerry St. Cyr. This is Roddick Hammer, veering back out to center. Ken Hawley. Hawley at center ice. Stick handling across the line. Hawley cutting in. Hawley cuts out in front of the goal. Blue goes down. Puck goes wide of the net.
Now that's an example of a 2-on-3 rush where no one took the puck carrier. Lassard let Hawley that time carry into the zone, and he just should have stepped up right at the blue line and played him. He was well covered.
Here's Andrew McKim, who's had a big night. Scott White with 1:54 to go in the hockey game. Gloved by Blue and dropped. Featherstone is back to play it. Featherstone, Olsen, Panaleyev for 5-on-5 hockey right now out in front of the goaltenders, and both clubs are now back at full strength. Hit tight back behind the net. Daryl Olsen will keep it in. Puck loose in front, but knocked away by Week. Knocked the puck that time away from Jim Vesey. Grimes with a shot and a save by Blue. Here's McBain cutting in on the backhand. Another save by Blue. Raleigh was knocked down by Featherstone, and the puck will wind up in the crowd with 1:06 to go in the hockey game. It's been a busy third period for John Blue.
Boy, man, I stayed right there. I'll tell you, McBain, you can see with it right there. He's been around this league a while, both the AHL and the NHL. Panaleyev bothering him. Watch him work this backhand on the net. This is just an excellent move by McBain. Just, it's a little leverage on it, and Blue hangs with that shot all the way, but nifty play by McBain. You can see why he had 30-plus goals one year in the NHL with Vancouver. Good stop there by Blue as he gets the skate on the shot from the outside. Blue has played well.
Now, he's faced a lot of rubber, actually, when you look at it.
Yeah.
27 shots through the first 2 periods. I bet you it's close to 40 now for the hockey game.
He's been pretty solid, and when you look at the 2 they scored against him, one he hasn't seen yet.
Less than a minute to play in the hockey game. Blue watching it go wide off the fray. Richer bumped out over there by Hawley. Rick Lassard back behind his own goal. Off for Billy Huard at center. This is Jim Vesey. Off for Stefan Richer. Richer from center ice. St. Amour out at center ice. Gloved and dropped by John Blue. Rick Lassard back behind the goal. 20 seconds to play in the hockey game. Aaron Kimball will just run out the remaining time of the hockey game. Kimball popping it back out to center past Huard. His time is running out here at the Providence Civic Center. Blue watches one go wide. That's the hockey game as the Providence Bruins have defeated the New Haven Nighthawks, or the New Haven Senators, rather, by a score of 5-2. Tonight here at the Providence Civic Center before 6,584. And in the end, Bob, pretty entertaining hockey game.
Well, it was a good game, and we saw the Providence Bruins continue their scoring. New Haven Senators put up a good battle. They've been struggling. They have lost 8 in a row, now 9 in a row, 1 win in their last 11. But they were in this hockey game for quite a while until, with the score 3-2 at the end of 2, the Providence Bruins scored 2 unanswered goals in the third period. One by Glenn Featherstone and the other one by Grigory Panaleyev.
Panaleyev having a good hockey game tonight. He had a pair of goals. Featherstone
2
also
goals and
with
an
a pair
assist.
of goals.
Yeah, he had an assist to go along with it.
So a good win for the Providence Bruins as they win by a score of 5-2. Shots on goal in the third period for New Haven, 13. They wind up with a total of 40 shots on goal for the hockey game. Providence had 8 shots on goal in the third period for a game total of 33.
Yeah, it took us a little while to appreciate the game that John Blue played. You know, as you look at the game, you expected the Providence team to win, but one of the things that they did very well was play well in net. And John Blue, a number of outstanding saves. And when you look at the 2 goals they scored against them, one, no chance whatsoever However, the Darren Rumble shot from the point, a power play goal to make the score 2-2 in the second period. He didn't see it all as he was screened in front of the net. And the other goal, Mark Fortier, nice goal off a feed from Brad Miller and Andrew McBain. So you look at John Blue, and he's got to be right up there in terms of the outstanding players. Featherstone, Peneleyev are going to get stars for tonight's game. Featherstone with 3 points, but John Blue played superbly.
Okay, well, thank you, Bob. Once again, our final score tonight from the Providence Civic Center here in Providence, Rhode Island. The hometown Bruins beat New Haven by a score of 5-2. Be sure to stay with Nesson Saturday night when the parent club, the Boston Bruins, play host to Eric Lindros and the Philadelphia Flyers. Bruins Digest will start your night, and then it's the Bees and the Flyers live from the Garden at 7 o'clock. And don't forget Amy Stone, Sports Desk, the morning edition every Monday through Friday from 5 until 9 a.m. This has been an exclusive presentation of Nesson, your ticket to the best in college and professional sports.